all that's like the Mad Max type
I
character.
I'm also of the mind that like we can also just and I liked her. I don't mind. Like, but I'm also of
Mhm.
the mind that we could just let Furiosa alone. I kind of Mad Max
Yeah,
is cool
no, for
about
sure.
like story to story to story, right? Like it's
Mhm.
kind of neat just like moving on the wasteland. Hey, here's the next story that's going on. I don't need to know more about and they say it's someone that's not I'm sure I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna fucking love it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But like in the grand scheme of things, like I kind of
That's what I'm
like
saying though. Like I love the movie. The movie was great. No complaints with the movie, but we didn't need it. It failing is its own fault or George's fault at this point. Like I don't blame. Like I don't know. It's so weird because like we didn't need this movie. Nothing about this movie screams it needed to be made, but it still got made.
you know what? I'd feel I don't know. Like part of me like I just don't
And
like
it's
that that it's losing so much money cuz like if it was like not as much money, if it was like more like a like half that budget, okay, it would have been like almost like a pet project, right? Like almost like all right, you really want to do this, that's fine. But like for how long it took and to get that
That's yeah.
that's where we're I don't I
if
don't know.
this would
I
have
also
came
blame
out
people though.
like
Everyone needs to go fucking watch this shit. Like I don't know. Like
yeah, if this would have came out like 4 years after Fury Road or like
oh
within
yeah,
like a
100%.
within five
Yeah.
years, it would have made twice as much as it had right now because then it would have had like that familiarity. I feel like.
Anthology
Yeah, no,
series.
absolutely. That's what Mad
Just
Max is all
stop
about.
caring about
Oh,
Mad Max
sure.
and anything currently established. Just some new weird
Well, that was the
wasteland
whole thing
adventure
with
each
Fury
time.
Road, right? Because it's not Mel Gibson, and we're just kind of like thrown into it. You're like, yeah, this is Max. Deal with it, bitch.
But
Yep.
I
And
see
Morton Joe has never been part of the story. None of these people have been part of the Mad Max mythos. So it's like, here's a new Mad Max. Deal with it. He's on a new adventure. Deal with it.
I
And
disagree with
that's
what
why I
David
like.
said
Just do that. Just
though.
you're
Yeah.
muted,
I
Adrian.
Commit.
I can't hear you.
oh fuck hold on.
Talking,
All right,
talking.
yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Yeah, there you go.
I disagree kind of with what David said though. Is I feel like Mad Max still needs to have a placement in the story, not a central focus, but like the idea
I
is that
don't.
there's this person that's roaming through the wasteland and you're experiencing the
Mhm.
stories around him. I think once you lose that, then it's just like the wasteland, and I don't. I like there's just like a nice consistency piece behind it. It
Yeah,
has a little
he
like
kind of centers the story. That's why I like Thunderdome because there's already
Hell
because
yeah.
Mad Max had already become like a legend at that point. So like they knew they're like, oh, you're the Wanderer. You're like they it was a mythos kind of built into it, and Max is just like, bro, I'm just fucking surviving. Dog. Like I
I'm
don't know
just
what
doing
the
my
fuck
thing.
is happening. Yeah.
Me as someone who's ever watched a Mad Max movie, huh? Hey, Pepperoni, you don't need to watch, and that's the cool thing
No,
about Mad Max. You can kind of just jump in wherever. But for love of
I
all
will.
that's holy in this world, please watch Fury Road. I
Oh
watched that
yeah.
in
Oh
theaters again. We
yes.
talked about it a few like 2 months ago. Watching theaters again, it's still my all time favorite movie. It's so
I'm
fucking good.
I'm so jealous I missed that because
Ugh.
I was hoping that with the release of Furiosa
I
they would
was
have done them
wondering
back
that
to back.
too. You know what? I think they should
Oh
have. I think
man.
they fucked up. They should have like they really should have made it like the weekend prior.
100%. Because also I've seen there's a news report where George said that he's finished the black and white version of this one too. So
Mm.
supposedly that exists. If it gets released now, who knows? But
It's probably gonna get
that
fast
that
tracked
would have been cool.
to streaming now. Furiosa caught
See,
my
and that's
attention
the
at Fury
thing.
Road, but I've heard nothing but good things. Yeah, please,
Yeah,
they're great. Just please.
I always recommend Mad Max to people like I do the Evil Dead. Don't
Yes.
watch Evil Dead 1. Go watch Evil Dead 2. Same thing with Mad Max. Go watch. Well, I don't say don't watch, but go back.
Yeah, I was gonna
Start
say
with 2 and then go back.
yeah, start with 2, and then if you had fun with it, go back to 1 to
Yep.
see where it evolved from.
Right, because 2 is essentially kind of like a retread, retelling, but done better and more added to it to like
Yeah,
flesh it out, make it like an
it's half
actual
remake,
movie.
half sequel.
Right. Yeah.
So, uh,
And then
well,
probably skip Thunderdome, Fury Road, and then go back to Thunderdome
if
after.
you liked, if you, I here's what I say: if you like Fury Road, I just feel like there's like if there's people who like me who just love Fury Road, and it just puts
Oh
you
yeah.
in this world that you just like want to just start
Yeah,
like
for
exploring.
sure.
And I think at that point, once you watch Fury Road, if you love it, like a lot of people naturally should, then you should go through and watch the other ones because like it's just
Right.
added stuff and it just like it's like it has like that feel and it kind of you say with Thunderdome it's like you ever say like it's like a campfire story. It's like central. It's like a Western campfire story. You're talking about like this. But hey, let me tell you about like this person ever did this, and then you like fade back and here's a story about them, right? It's got that cool like feel around it. And
That's-
Fury Road's so fucking amazing.
Thunderdome is a movie that you have to remember the guy who made it also made Happy Feet.
True.
And
But
Babe.
that's one thing I wish I could erase from my partner's mind. My partner has this unfortunate hookup with things where if she doesn't get into them before they start to get super popular and they become like that super everyone's talking about it popular, she grows a visceral reaction to that and loses interest.
sir.
Like she still hasn't seen Logan and she still won't see it just because it's still so hyped as like the definitive.
Well, no one
fucking
gave a shit about
Wolverine story.
Furiosa, so fucking time to go watch that.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, fucking
You want to be a
made
hipster?
$2,
Go watch
yeah.
Furiosa.
Literally, there you go. You got your fucking two. Happy Feet cross Mad Max one day. Welcome
It'll happen.
to the Blue Reese Podcast, episode number 256. I'm Adrian. That's David. That's Kels. We do our video game podcast once a week on youtube.com/Blue Rupees. And we talk about mostly video games that we could try. But a lot of times we'll derail, which we will for sure on this episode. Because
I mean, we've slowly turned into basically just being a movie podcast that sometimes talks about.
Oh, we're
video
gonna
we can
add a
talk about
different
the
thing.
Mad Max game. I mean, Kojima is, apparently wants to be
did you
on
see
it, or-
how it
Wait, we
bugs
got
me out?
Kojima coming on, the man himself.
George Miller wants
Yeah,
Kojima to
there you
make
go.
a Mad Max game.
He said that the one that came out didn't fully realize his vision. Or
Which-
some shit like
okay,
that. It was
all
like
right.
paraphrasing.
Yeah. So that was a story that popped up, and that's unfortunate because like that game was solid. It was like a solid like
Yeah,
seven and a half
loved
out of
it.
10.
Yeah, it was fun.
One of those like kind of games where you're like, okay, this is like a good palate cleanser if you like kind of turn your brain off, but like still enjoy enough to go into that. And I do have issue when I'm gonna side with the developers on this. They came back and refuted a lot of that, and I'm gonna believe them over George Miller just because I that sounds on track for everything development wise. Where like they wanted us to do this, then they said this, and then we did this. They can't get mad at us for not doing that because they forced us to do. It's like I believe them 100%. Like
Yeah, I'm gonna believe the creator.
let's see. It probably says, by the way, got around to listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and gotta say I love Backstreet Freestyle. Art if you're fresh so far, yes sir. I fuck with Backstreet Freestyle. I was listening to that earlier,
Yeah,
like
so
an hour
good.
ago. It's so good. Glad you like that. Now, if you're in for your next step, to Butterfly is next. I would say let your mind kind of drain of that for a little bit, and then put yourself in the mind of like how political things were. Like, what was it? 2018 that it came out.
I think it was 20. It was like riding off of the 2016 elections and stuff, right?
Yeah. So just kind of go with that, but just realize that it's gonna take a turn because Kendrick Lamar is not someone who stays in his lane. He likes to like really when he makes a new album, he said the way he says it is he likes to challenge himself. If there's no challenge there, he doesn't really. It's not inspired to make an album, so he challenged himself to make this one, and it's To Pimp a Butterfly. Think of it like Good Kid, Mad City was this young guy just kind of getting a swagger. To Pimp a Butterfly is like him having been raised to that elevation of like, okay, I gotta have meaning in my stuff. Okay, let's have meaning in that stuff and let's make a statement about it. And then you got Damn next. Damn.
Damn.
There you go with our music.
But yeah, the developers were given like some insight, right, for Mad Max.
Yeah. So they were just fighting off a lot of the whole like it was my vision. It was like, yeah, well, you didn't give us a proper vision. Like, come on.
And see, like it still worked. Like I feel like it did a whole lot right that like we don't like really see now. Like I feel like there's a lot of really cool mechanics there.
Yeah, and it's one of those games I only get like half an hour into because it's just like I feel like I have the itch for it, but then I don't. But I one day I will because it's like I've heard a lot of good things and it runs great on Steam Deck. So one day.
Yeah, the only thing I had bad about it is I heard that at launch a little glitchy, but that got patched up basically.
Yeah, it's like a solid like 7 to 8 out of 10. Like one of those kind of games that you kind of you want it to be. You don't want it to be like this big 9, 10 out of 10. You want it to be like I just want to have my have a good decent time in this. Um, so I'm a little bummed out. We just had our nationals match and we lost 1-3. And it was a bit of a bummer. I feel like there was a little bit of nerves, but I feel like energy wise, I feel like we've been drained a lot now. We're just kind of tired. But
Mhm.
and it was like we had a good run. We were top 8 nationals. Like I can't get mad at that, but I am bummed out because uh our in-state rivals, the ones that we always clash with, they won their round. So if we had won this, we would have had to fight them, and winner of that got at least $3,000. And I was like, that would have been a fun one, but it is what it is on that. I'm personally just kind of drained on coaching right now. I'm like, I just popped up the videos and I did like about an hour or two of like research. I'm like, all right, I'm tired. I don't want to do this now. I'm ready for summer. But yeah. I was telling Kels, David, not to
Go.
jump into our weeks really quick and take over, but I was telling Kels, 'cause I kind of wanted, I think this would be funny for you. Um, so I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but just a quick anecdote is I've been in the hospital for someone else this last not long, but like I have been spending more time in the hospital. Uh, and I bought a Kindle about 2 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? Let's bust that out. So I was like, I brought my Switch and everything, but I was like, I don't know why. I think I'd rather just read right now. I feel like in the hospital, I don't really feel like playing games. I kind of want to just read. Um, and so for some particular reason, I just started jumping into Stephen King shit again. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, and so the Bachman books. You guys familiar with those?
Yes.
Yeah. So about 8 years ago, I started writing a lot of my undergrad stuff just based off Richard Bachman stuff or Stephen King stuff, just book reports, stuff like that. And I was filling my Kindle with a bunch of that kind of thing. And I had read what did I read? I had read The Running Man, The Long Walk, and then I got like halfway through Thinner, and then something happened, and I forget. I got distracted and didn't go through it anymore. But I was going through books, and I've always cited at The Running Man as like one of my favorite books. Have you guys read The Running Man or?
It's been a long time, but yeah, I did back in like high school.
I watched the movie.
Nothing like the movie.
No, nothing at all.
Like famously, absolutely not like the movie. You might as well call it something different. But I was that's been like one of my favorite books I would like recite back to. I'm like, so what was I'd always refer back to that. And I loaded it up and I looked at it for a second. I was like, you know what? Something like is giving me like a spidey sense. I'm like, I'm gonna read The Long Walk first this time. Because I like The Long Walk, and it's been 8 years, so I've grew hazy enough about almost all the details in this book, but I remember like a couple of them. So let me read that again, and for sure now, because I've reread through The Running Man now, I still loved it, but The Long Walk is fucking incredible. I've now doubled back and said that I've liked The Long Walk much more than The Running Man. Um, didn't know that that was Stephen King's first book that he wrote when he was a freshman in college, which is kind of nuts. Um, but fantastic book. I've actually liked it so much that I'm kind of considering teaching that to my high schoolers. But it's kind of a brutal book. If you don't know what The Long Walk is, it is a dystopian America. There's this big reality show or sport, I guess, whatever you want to call it, that is like televised to like everyone's about it, and all it is like they get 100 teen boys every year walk, and if you drop below 4 miles per hour, you get a warning. You're allowed 3 warnings. The 4th one, you just get shot. And it's pretty brutal, obviously, right? Like you go through and it's just these just walking like it's I've delved into a couple like podcasts, kind of doing book clubs about it and talking about it, and really going into how like it really reflects the Vietnam War and stuff like that, which is interesting, like the draft. But yeah, it's a fantastic read. It's like it's incredibly cerebral, right? Because like you got to imagine like it's like a coming of age novel, which is fucking weird because like What the fuck?
Well, it's like Lord of the Flies.
I
You'd
have
call
that too. And
probably a
here's the
coming-of-age
thing.
novel,
Here
right?
was the weird part about my whole weekend, and I had to read The Running Man because I almost read 3 books back to back, which would have made me feel like a fucking psychopath in my own career. Becky, do the walkers get a break or no? No stopping.
And well, another thing too is like if you think about it, a lot of YA novels are like really kind of fucked up in that way because they're all like having to deal
Yeah, exactly.
like with
On that,
with the same shit.
so just detail wise at Becky. So they get 3 warnings. The fourth one they get shot. If you get 3, you can get 3 warnings, and then you got to walk off an hour to shake off 1 warning. So you walk off 3 hours, you're back up to 4 warnings. So like there's a case of like kids are like maybe like I need to stop for like a minute and a half. Something, then you take a shit and you gotta have the fast shit of your life. And there's like people watching you, and there's like points where like dystopian America, there's all fucking cheering every time like this happens. Where if like a shoe falls off a kid, just fucking people just like swarm it to take it just so they could have his memorabilia. It's fucking weird, and it's so funny
Or
because
there's people probably betting on it, right?
yeah, people make bets. There's like billions in bets that people make on it. And then it's now weird in hindsight, David, because they mention Auburn and Lewiston and like Portland and stuff. I'm like, oh, I know where you're at now, and that's weird. I've been there. I've driven through all these areas.
I know these locations
Bar
now.
Harbor. I know where that is. Sounds like a Hunger Games situation. Yeah, so people say that's like kind of like a really early iteration of like the Hunger Games, but like they weren't really attacking each other. Like they do get on each other's nerves and like they'll help each other. There's times where like the boys will like they'll like wake up, but like yeah, it's intense. Out of all 3, who would be the last man standing? David would not want to fucking walk that long. He might just sit down.
Yeah,
and
and I have
I'd take my chances and just fucking throw myself at them. Fuck it. I'm not living either way.
That's fair. Kels,
I have a bum knee, so I'd probably make it like a little ways in, but
yeah, they walk for. I'm not gonna spoil, I guess, how long, but there's they definitely get out of the state. Let's just say that at least, which is nuts, right?
Yeah, I need a break. See, like my plan, I'd start off strong. I just sprint and get my average like really high up there. I'd get like that 20-mile-per-hour average, and then I could like take like intermittent breaks and do like a light jog in between.
You don't even need a
I don't know
jog.
if
You
that
just
breaks the rules.
walk.
Yeah, no, like I just get the average up, so I have that built up. I just have a bank, so I can for shit breaks or whatever.
I mean, you can just do that in general. You can literally just do that and just do 5 miles per hour.
No, I need the bank. I'm too
All
anxious.
right, whatever you say.
I take long poop breaks.
This man's trying to
I play on my
metagame this
phone.
now.
Yeah.
He went from I got a bum knee to I'm gonna fucking.
I do
walk.
got a bum knee. That's why I got metagame it.
David walks in negative speed, says end pass bot.
It's true.
He
He walks back.
backwards.
Yeah, he's
They
moonwalking.
get
I
it.
turn 360 degrees and walk away.
yeah, that's how
He's
it works.
faster in reverse.
But yeah, so I had to read The Running Man because there were 3 novels. I read 2 of these novels, and I was gonna read Lord of the Flies, but it made me feel like a psychopath being a teacher. I read The Long Walk, which is about 100 teen boys, 99 of them getting their ass shot off like by just these dystopian people. I read Rage.
Fucking hell, that one's rough.
Yeah,
That's like one of the only books of his he's disowned.
Yeah, if no one knows what Rage is, good. First off, what Rage is, it was the first Bachman book. It was a book where angsty teen comes in, offs his teacher, and then holds a class hostage, and go off from there. I read that out of sheer curiosity. I should have done it earlier because like now it just makes it a lot more fucking weird. But it is what it is. But I was just curious at this point. Don't really care
Here's the
for
real
it.
question: when are you going to finally get around to reading House of Leaves?
That one. So here's the thing, and I was kind
We
of
should
talking.
do a book club because I've been wanting to read that one too.
It's genuinely my favorite fucking book of all time.
So
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
I because I started reading that last summer for a little bit, and I got a little bit into it, but it's so dense that you need to block everything else out. Like it's like you focus on this for a while just because it's so dense, because you can't walk away for a little while. You gotta just hammer it in. And being in the middle of trips and starting school and stuff, I was like, yeah, I can't just jump in right now. So I'm gonna carve away some time to do that. But yeah, I read Rage. It's not good. Stephen King has made sure that that book has gone out of print. Unfortunately, there were multiple instances of school shootings where the shooter has
Decided or something.
the shooter has had that
Yikes.
book in possession, or they tried to very much act like that book, but it's fiction, so it didn't work out. So like, and it's so teen angsty where it's like, not that you guys give a shit about spoilers for this book, I'm sure, but it's like does these horrible things and then like starts getting sympathy from some of the class, and it's like
that,
starts like a
that's
coup,
the
and then
rough
like,
part about it.
and at the end, spoilers if you're gonna read it, whatever. Luckily it's a short read. It's like only like 170 pages, I think, or something like that. There's an asshole in the class who's just kind of a dickhead. He's a douchebag, but like the shooter like gets the whole class to turn on him and turn him to a catatonic state by the end of the fucking book. But like the other guy just gets off with the insanity plea, and I'm like this is. But it's like the book tries to make that the justice, and it's like not. It's like, yeah, that guy's kind of a dickhead. Fuck him. But like you fucking off two teachers, by the way. It wasn't just one. It was like another one tried to come in and help, and then just offed him. I'm like, all right, well that is what it is. But yeah, it was so. It gave me hatred vibes. I like that. That's a great. That's a
Yes.
great sentence, by the way. But if everyone knows what hatred is, like it just felt like someone wanted to be angsty for the sake of being angsty, and
Yeah.
it came off pretty cringy. And it's like a lot of what was happening in there, Stephen King has done in various other books since then, and has just like done it better. So there was like no point to it now. Stephen King has disowned it. He's let it go out of print. You go read on his website. He's like, there's like that. You could, if you like did your digging around like used books places or like libraries, you could probably find a copy. The best way to find copies is going to be through the Bachman Book Collection, which has Rage, Long Walk, The Running Man, and I want to say The Regulators. And then because that was before Thinner when he got outed as
Is Rage in there?
yes, and the
I gotta
newest.
check real quick. 1 second.
Okay, I should have said that.
Average Maine resident has his collection of Stephen King
So I
books.
should say the newest edition of the Bachman books does not have Rage in it, but like every other iteration of it does.
Does every like resident of Maine get them in like the mail like a phone book?
Yeah,
Just
it's
the
like
newest
a
Stephen King
subscription
book?
service, but like no, it's like that U2 album that Apple forcing everyone's on
Yeah.
everyone's iPods. They force the King book inside everyone's mailbox. I like how I'll just say because I'll forget, I guess. Oh well, whatever. Hold on. I'll definitely have to check out The Running Man if I do remember. Running Man's interesting. So I didn't say, so The Running Man is very much like The Long Walk. The Running Man is a dystopian future game show. It's kind of like similar. People like to put them in the same universe, actually.
They might
that-
be connected because he
yeah.
always fucks around with that shit.
Right. And The Running Man is a TV
yeah,
show.
Rage is in here. No shit. Okay.
TV show.
I didn't realize Rage was in here.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that the newest editions, like the most recent, don't have it, but like every other one does.
Yeah, because this is an old fucking version
Yeah.
of it.
But you can find them. But then like people try to sell those things on expensive, like on Amazon or eBay, David. So if you want to look at how much it's worth, it's probably worth a lot because then people just like straight buy that. Oh sorry, I meant the Long Walk. Whatever, I'll try both. Both are great. Running Man is more actiony. It is a game show. A guy has to help his family, so he signs up for this game show, or he signs up to be on a game show. They don't know which one. They find out this giant network runs everything. There's TVs in everyone's like mandatory TVs in everyone's home, and he signed up for the show called The Running Man, which is like you are given 24 hours or 12 hours to run, and this hunting team comes out to find you. They'll kill you when they see you. Every hour you last, you make $100. Lasts like 2 weeks. You
That
make
sounds
this
just
much.
like the movie. What the hell, dude?
Yeah,
You said it was
Yeah.
completely different.
yeah. Most of it is, and then you survive for like a month. You get like $1 billion, but it's and then like everyone if like anyone sees you and they report you, they get money for reporting you and stuff like that. There was an action movie based off of it, but it's like aside from just like names being used, it's like so off the rails from what it was. Apparently Edgar Wright has the fucking rights for it currently.
Ooh, that's cool.
Right.
That could be really cool.
Yeah, he has that, and then what else? Actually, because The Long Walk is actually been constantly in limbo to being made as a movie adaptation. Um, I was thinking about it while I was reading it, and I'm like, bro, look, like I'm not gonna lie, like genuinely, this wasn't like a fantasy of mine. Part of me, when I kept seeing how like the last, because like it's funny enough, George Miller had the rights or was gonna be given the rights to do The Long Walk like in '88, but just passed on that. And then passed around to like Frank Darabont had it, but just didn't do anything with it. Um, but someone's now been given, the guy who did Constantine currently has it. But it's been passed around like constantly for like the last like when did he have this? I want to say that it was it's been passed around for like the last like 20 years. I'm like, I kind of want to just make a movie and just like take it myself. Like, fuckers, if you want to do it, let me do it. Because I was thinking the entire time like that would be great to make a movie off of. But yeah.
Also, real quick, I was looking at it. I guess this version of it averages around like $60 to $80.
Oh,
It's not
nice.
bad. Not bad.
Yeah,
And, like,
not bad at all.
Not the most expensive book in my collection, but
What is, since it was asked?
my most expensive book in my collection is the Avatar Tuner books for Shin Megami Tensei. Those go for about 500 each.
Nice. I think mine until reprint is that Control book. I think it's like 200, $300. Kels,
Yeah,
do you own books?
No, I don't have any books.
Common
that are-
books.
He doesn't know how to
Yeah.
read. That's why he has
Yeah,
the picture books.
Yeah.
Exactly. Give me big picture. I like.
But I was gonna read the Lord of the Flies. I just need a break because I felt like reading 3 books back to back about kids just killing each other. Was
No, that's normal. We did that in high school, or I did at least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So you know what? You should take a break from that and read Battle Royal. You know.
yeah.
Back to that classic.
But on your note, Kels, because yeah, a lot of young adult novels are kind of intense. I feel like young adult novels have been reeled back though. I feel like when you think of young adult novels, you kind of think of pretty tame. But yeah, I know like Long Walk was like seen as like one of the top 100 YA novels, like by the American whatever it was association. But I actually brought that up with the librarian today. I was like, how do you feel about teaching seniors a Long Walk? Because like I kind of want to, but it can be pretty fucked up and like kind of out of the left field if you want. But also, I got a bunch of seniors for the first time. I kind of want to just fuck with them right away. I'm like, here's what we're gonna read. This is welcome to who I am. You're gonna read about these kids just out walking each other. I did a like getting reacquainted with King. I like Joe Hill, which is his son. I like his style of writing just a little bit more. But it's funny because like someone pointed it out, and it's kind of funny. Just Stephen King can't describe a woman in his writing without having to describe their boobs, like at any point. Just like it's like always like every time it's like, oh, this woman yada yada yada, and her breasts da, 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 and then this and that. And I'm like, dude, we don't need to hear about her breasts. Every single one, like you can get a good vision of it. I'm not just like, are they G's or are they rocking like B's? Like, come on, King.
He said they were about this size.
They were
you
about
see?
this size. See, yeah.
King's got a lot of hookups in his writing. It's kind of one of those things that he can't write women without talking about their breasts. He can't write fathers without them being abusive pricks. He can't write black people without them having magical powers.
Or just without
you know.
just being really racially minoritized, I guess, in
Yeah.
early writing. Like that's something you gotta go through. There's a lot of a very heavy racial wording.
He also has this weird need to stand on the hill of, or dying on the hill of children having sex in his books.
Shouts to it
Th-
having a
it's kinda
fucking child orgy.
Even some of his more recent stuff, he did like a murder mystery series recently, and it has a lot of child assault in it. And I'm just like, bro, can you fucking not for 2 seconds? Like,
I like
I'm
King.
starting to wonder.
I like King. I respect the fuck out of how much he writes. Man, just like a fucking machine. And I get he's aware. He's like, not everything is like
Yeah,
quality.
that runs on coke. His body takes in coke and pumps out awesome stories.
Yes, because he wrote The Running Man in 2 days apparently.
Yeah.
And someone's like,
what cocaine does.
damn, that's crazy. I wish I could do that. And he's like, well, I wasn't alone.
Yeah, he's also said that he doesn't even remember
writing
writing
Cujo.
Cujo. He
Yeah.
just woke up
Which-
one day and the book was done.
which is-
and he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I finished this book." Whatever.
Which is kind of it's fascinating because like Eminem's done the same thing. Kels, have you ever heard that Eminem had no idea about the demo version of Lose Yourself?
Yeah, I've heard that one, and there's been like a few like scene bands that have like yeah, we've recorded the song. I don't even fucking remember it.
Yeah,
But
he,
you
they,
smacked on that one.
if I remember the story correctly, they were making a Curtain Call 2, and they go to Eminem, hey, do you want us to add like the demo version of Lose Yourself on here? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, the demo, you recorded a demo of Lose Yourself. He's like, the fuck? They played it. He's
What
like,
did I
I
do?
don't fucking remember that at all. I was high out of my fucking mind out of that. It's fascinating when people can like be that fucked up, but their brain just works to a point where they can just still produce something like Cujo or Lose Yourself, right? I'm like, it's admirable but fucking scary at the same time, right? But
Yeah,
like that's kind
they
of
were on
horrifying.
autopilot and still did
Yeah.
that.
yo, I can't do shit. I'm like over here struggling to fucking write anything sometimes, and bro just like hopped off the fucking rocker, and they're just like brains like. Bleh.
They were on automated breathing mode and we're still able to create art. That's incredible.
You know what I do think though every once in a while? I'm like, I kind of want to just write books. I feel like I'm a fucking wordy ass person. I'm a goddamn English major, English teacher. I could probably just write something, and that's the easiest way to get shit done at this point. Like making a movie, holy shit. Making a video game, holy shit. But like, I could just write a book. That should be easy.
That's true. Stealth your way in.
Yeah.
Write the book and sell the rights, and then watch someone bastardize your book.
No, that's actually why
Or make a great movie out of it. Shout out Kubrick.
the script that I have right now, which is the one that's like my baby one, that which I'm gonna revise sometime in the foreseeable future. I'm telling myself this. It never happens, but I'm gonna tell myself that. And that's one that I would only pitch to A24. And that's like only them. Like Netflix will not get their fucking hands on it because I do not trust anyone else with it besides A24. But like anyone else, anything else I write, fuck it. Netflix, you want it? Fuck it, take it. Like that's fine. But like that's my baby. So I'm like, I will only do that. That's like, if I get to a point where I can throw out a few things, and if I could direct it, that's how I would like want it the most. But that's like my baby. Because yeah, I don't trust. Every time I see stories about people like writing these things and just Hollywood just fucking it to a point of like it's barely recognizable, I'm like, I would fucking hate it.
Yeah, going back to Stephen King a little bit, I feel like
Yeah.
my favorite stories from him are usually like his ones that like aren't necessarily like malicious, like or have like malicious intent to them.
So
Like one of my favorite stories by him is Duma Key. Like I don't know if you've read that's a more recent one, but it's more of like an introspective kind of like like you don't know what's real throughout most of the book, and it's mostly like one character and how like they're perceiving their environment.
interesting.
And I think that's really cool.
So, the podcast I was listening to the Losers Club. It was them dissecting The Long Walk, and they mentioned that, and I agree. King's at his best when he's not over dramatizing or overdoing things. He's just really good at like punchy one lines that can really hit you hard. Those are when he's like at his best. At his weakest is when he has to feel like he has to overindulge and overdo things to get to a point. And I agree. I think that's almost universal though. It's like when someone can get a point across in like one sentence, that's gonna hit harder than anything else ever.
He actually mentions that himself too. He wrote a kind of essay, kind of autobiography called Stephen King on Writing, in which he kind of goes over the creative process. And he kind of highlights that himself. He's like, I've never been good at just creating a long, detailed thing. And it's partially because he's always had the viewpoint that if you can just get to the point with your writing, why bother with the fluff? Just say the fucking point of it. So it always does make you wonder when he does get a bit more
Fluffy.
involved with some of his writing, like how much is that him and how much is that like an editor mandate, essentially.
Right. I do. Like I said, even though he's aware that this quality isn't always the best, I love that he's just like, I just love writing, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Because the
Yeah.
man just puts out fucking work, which is.
And see,
cool.
that's the thing too. Like, not everything has to be a banger. As long as like, not everything from him has to be his like. What would you
Magnum
consider?
opus.
His biggest one? Yeah, exactly. He's had hit after hit after hit. He doesn't need to keep like necessarily making the best of the best, or we don't need to keep expecting like the best of the best. If he's putting out something that's worth reading, I think that's what matters.
I think for someone of his caliber, that's smart because imagine the pressure to have to constantly better yourself every single time. We talk about Kendrick Lamar, right? He always feels like he needs to challenge himself, and I feel like he does know always try to up himself, but I feel like there's so much pressure behind. I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing something better, better, better. That it would be too much. So kind of getting to the point where you're like, I can just put some stuff out there, and you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. It's cool. Actually, and also on this week, I had an idea for a YouTube channel and stuff. It's my favorite idea so far. Kind of along. I'll share it off the podcast just because I get weird about sharing ideas online because I get paranoid. I'm like, someone's gonna steal it, even though A Pepperoni, I wouldn't know who would steal it. Can't let him do that. But I have an idea. I'm like, ooh, I kind of liked this one, and it seems kind of up my realm of something I would prefer. But I'll mention it later. But on that note, David, how
Yo.
big is Stephen King out there? Like, is it like a meme that you there, or is it like pretty?
I
Still...
mean, like as like a
have
celebrity
you
kind
met
of
him?
status.
When have you
kind
had
of
dinner with him yet?
I have not.
What the fuck?
I have eaten at a family-owned restaurant of his, and that's the closest. Probably.
Does he ever do like meetups out there? Right? Not like a meetup, like a book. I might
He
do a lot of
used
book
to
signings.
do. He used to do shit all the time until people really started to become prickish towards him. He actually used to hold like Halloween events at his place. He'd just open up his house to the public and just be like, "Yeah, come fucking
He's probably
chill,
getting
have
a little
all
bit
the-"
older now too, right?
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
right,
he's
man.
Yeah.
How old
he's
is
getting
he?
older. He's getting more curmudgeon-y. Just
Yeah.
kind of wants to be left the fuck alone. Which, I mean, granted, that's the best part about Maine is you can get left the
God,
fuck
he's
alone. for
76.
years.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, he used to be pretty actively involved. He does speak up a lot on local politics and just politics in general. But
Yeah, he's
otherwise than
popping
that,
off
I
on
mean,
Twitter all the time too.
Also, shout outs to that time where he got really confused about Tekken and was trying to understand what frame data meant and what a snake edge was.
I do
I still don't know, Steven, so we're in the same boat.
I do
Just
like
press button.
how so just to reel back a little more. So Richard Bachman was a pen name that he had because
Yes.
early on he wanted to write so much, but publishers actually didn't like putting out more than one novel per author a year just because they felt like it would flood up their own market. And so to get around that, he made this pen name, Richard Bachman, which came from two names that just happened to be nearby.
That's half the reason. The other half is he was only being allowed to release things under his name, and he wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke.
Yeah, he wanted to
Like,
challenge
he was
himself
like,
to
you know,
like,
if
I
I
can
just
get big.
yeah, he's like, let me show that I can do this again, and it's not just selling because it's my name.
Right.
That's G.
And so he had Richard Bachman, and it's just funny because like he got by Thinner, he got found out, and there was like apparently there was like people making slight murmurs here or there, but they were just always deny like no, but it wasn't until Thinner where this one guy I think at this publication was like, hold on, this sounds like something someone else would fucking make. Fun fact: A Misery was supposed to be a Bachman book. But and so he called him up and or he sent a letter I think out to he sent a letter to them and said, hey, I know you're Stephen King 100%, what do you want to do about this, and or what should I do, do you want me to keep it quiet, do I like, and the next day Stephen King called him like, hey, so I know you want to make an interview, put your name on it. He was like, cool. So they had an interview and he put his name on it as being the one to dig that out there, which was pretty cool. But I say that because it's funny because like you read it, it's like there's so much main shit all over the Richard Bachman books too, and you're just like, you're not. He made it a thing though. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I kind of try to hide it myself. He references himself in his own book at some point too to kind of shake the tail off. But like, I'm like, he's like, I'm not really hiding. Like, if it happens, it happens. But it was Thinner because people would say that Thinner is very much a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been diving down that rabbit hole. So Kels was asking about that, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't played too many games. I've just been on a kick of reading stuff, which is like I'm probably not gonna stop myself because I want a heavy binge right now. And I'm like, how often do I get into like moments where I just want to read a bunch of stuff?
Hell yeah.
Unless I'm playing like Disco Elysium, in which case that's probably my that should be my bridge in the gap when I go back into video games for a little bit. I'm like, I should probably just start doing Disco Elysium.
I almost started that up.
I want to so bad because I know I'm gonna fucking love it. I know I'm gonna love it. Just hating Multiverse. Oh, Multiverse is out now, huh?
Yeah, just got that
Ooh.
download before we went live.
Oh, I need to go down with that. You guys, how was you guys this week though? I haven't talked a lot about mine. You guys have anything interesting going on?
Your partner and I have been playing Past the Sickness. I got sick around Tuesday of last
Ooh,
week.
wah.
I was sick all the way. And then I really felt it by Wednesday morning. And so from Wednesday till basically Saturday, I was fucking dead to the world. Ended up actually calling out Wednesday and Thursday from work. And got my partner sick. So from Saturday onward, she's been sick. And she actually called out today from sickness. Maybe tomorrow as well. So that's been fun. Been playing some stuff which we'll get to when we get to that segment. But otherwise than that, yeah, I've just been fucking sick.
Did you know?
Sick.
Yeah, did you know that Down with Sickness didn't actually have that ooh wah in it? It was just a hard cut into the song, like the way it was the song without that. But then I guess like on one of their takes, the singer just yelled that out there, and everyone just stopped like, holy shit, do that again. That was great, and that just became their thing.
Yeah, it's not the same without it.
No.
Nah, takes
Cal,
over the top.
how was your what'd you do?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit. Went and seen Furiosa. That was sick. Had a concert Sunday. 2 more this week, so I'm a busy boy with some shows coming up.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I got my kiddos out there and graduated, and it's sweet. I slightly always regret it every time after graduation because I spent all this time. There's like a meet and greet everywhere where all the families are saying, "Now I like to get pictures and tell them best of luck and everything." And I always say out so long, and it takes forever to get out the parking lot. And so, some teachers I've been there so long, like I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go get out before the traffic gets bad. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to say goodbyes. I'm already bad with those, so I like to do that. But yeah, it was fun because like they always look so nervous in their gowns, and then some of them will be like, I'm like, how you feeling? They're all nervous, so unanimously they're all nervous. And then some of them goes like, how you feeling? It's like, it's crazy. I was nervous. I wasn't gonna graduate. Now I'm nervous that I am graduating. I'm like, that's how it goes.
That's how it be.
Yeah. I gave a handful of them my socials and my number. I'm like, if you guys need anything, feel free to contact me. Keep in touch for sure. And I made a joke saying, all I want you guys to do is just text me whenever you guys are on the road, so I know not to drive. And that's it. And
Stay out of jail.
for about a week now, I've had random former students just text me, "Hey, I'm gonna drive now." Thank you. Hey, I just got home.
Appreciate the heads up.
Thank you. I'm gonna go leave now. But yeah, that's been a thing. Today this is our last week. We're out this Friday. Can't come soon enough. I'm just so fucking tired. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what we all played. David, what'd you play?
Hell yeah. So I decided I really wanted to play something a little bit hardy again, which is why I asked about what we were doing again about games gone by, because I ultimately said fuck it, and I decided to start 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should address this. I have been meaning to do the games gone by stuff, and I have it. Now, when I found out I have to edit all of them, it kind of just winded me for a little bit because I'm already tired. And I got sick, and that whole thing was dealing with it and all that. But yeah, I promise Games Gone By will be edited. I was talking to these guys earlier. There's some plans I had over the summer that are probably gonna get canceled. So I cleared up. We're gonna find out very soon. But I cleared out a little bit my place. My place is actually like extremely clean now, which is kind of nice. Like it's all been I deep cleaned it. I did all that. I've been doing everything around it, so it's like I'm setting the tiles up to do some sit down editing here soon. But Games Gone By will return. I still promise that's not going away because I still want to play all that stuff. But yeah. So I don't know up to you, David. But you started 13 Sentinels. How far did you get into it?
I am, and thankfully the game actually gives you percentages based on the different modes. So I can definitively say I am a third of the way through the game.
Nice.
Is it holding up to the accolades?
I have one nitpick with the game, which is it's after you're done the prologue, it becomes disjointed.
Okay.
So while you're going through the prologue, you kind of get the natural flow of what you would expect. Huh?
Right.
Sorry, I thought you said, "Are y'all right?" I was really confused.
He's like, no.
Never. So you get you get story, you get combat in there, and you get story, you get combat, and there's a rhythm to it. After the prologue is done, everything is sectioned away from each other. You have, this is your combat mode. Go here to do all your combat stuff. This is the story mode. Go there to do all the story stuff. Here is all the notes. Go there to like piece the story together when you're done going through both of the other modes. And it becomes disjointed because of that. But you kind of get a rhythm for it. It's fascinating because for two reasons. One, I want to talk about the combat real quick. Everyone calls this like an RTS tower defense hybrid. I don't think people fucking play video games. Because it's the dumbest way to explain this fucking game's combat system. It's just fucking Front Mission if you added Final Fantasy's ATB system to it. That's all it is just, here is a turn-based strategy RPG, but instead of like a standard turn order, everyone has like a fucking ATB bar that fills up, and you can manipulate when people move either faster or slower based on status effects and shit. So it's literally just Final Fantasy Front Mission. That's all it is. And like you can maybe make the argument horde shooter, because with some of the maps you'll fight like literally fucking 2,000 some odd enemies on the map. But just AoE go burst, so it's fine. You don't really notice it. All right. So combat wise, it's a lot of fun. It's not hard though. I've kicked up the difficulty to the highest just because I was like, all right, well, let me see what this is all about here. And the only difficulty in the combat comes from just kind of understanding what the map is expecting of you. You might struggle to get a perfect S rank the first time around. But as soon as you understand what the map is like, even on the hardest difficulty, the combat's not that bad. It's pretty straightforward. And it makes sense because it's probably coming from the aspect that they know people just want the
You are a
visual novel
madman,
aspect.
sir. It is 7 o'clock and you're ripping a C4.
I thought about that. It's fine.
I thought that was a Twisted Tea. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I wanted something carbonated. I have nothing else in the fucking fridge right now. It's fine. I have ADHD, so caffeine isn't as extreme as it can be sometimes.
It's true. I will drink 2 cups of coffee and go right to bed after.
I weaned myself off of caffeine for a long time to the point where like one could hit me pretty good. But since taking amphetamines called Adderall, I don't know. I used to I think I touched on the podcast. The first like 2 years of taking Adderall, I would take it and drink coffee in the morning and just thought that was okay on empty stomachs sometimes. And I told and people were like, "What the?
Why does my tummy hurt?"
No, it never did anything to me. I was fine. I've had worse stomach problems since fixing that issue. But yeah, so it's fine. I'll be okay.
Fucking wild, man.
They have I saw these at Walgreens because they had the fucking pink Starburst flavored, which was interesting.
All right,
Does that fire?
That is the best Starburst flavor. But no, and then aside from the combat though, which is fun, it's just not difficult. The story is fascinating. I'm not going to go into anything about the story. The only thing I'm going to say is this is what I like about what can be done with the visual novel concepts, because when we do eventually get around to talking about 13 Sentinels, neither of your experiences are going to be the same as mine. It's the same story. It is told the same exact way, but we're going to have entirely different experiences because you can choose the order of whose story you go down.
What if we happen to do the exact same one?
I mean, that would be hilarious if we did. But I basically did the prologue, and then I was like, all right, let me pick two characters that I really like the most so far from the prologue and start with their stories. And what I've been trying to do is not get anyone past 50% completion. And as soon as either I hit the first gate, because they do have certain restrictions where it's like, oh, you need to unlock 3 mysteries before you can move on, or oh, you need to complete combat mission X before you can continue on. So they do somewhat gatekeep, but a lot of them you'll kind of naturally do if you're doing what I'm doing, which is as soon as I get someone at 50%, I kind of bop to someone else, just because I've already hit a point where by going down one character's story that I really liked, immediately figured out some major plot reveals that happen in other characters' stories. And so that's where it's fascinating, because you're going to ultimately get the same story either way. But, you know, you two could ultimately start with 2 different characters as like, I'm going to go down this character's path. And you could be like massively surprised about a huge reveal that I had just explained right away in one character's path, but then be like, oh, this is then explaining something about this character that was a huge reveal surprise for me otherwise. So it's kind of neat. I really like the concept. Vanillaware's art is always fucking chef's kiss. The story is fascinating. It's fun. They did a really good job of making a fun and interesting cast of characters. Some of the writing is a little anime at times. We'll fucking put it that way. But otherwise than that, it has been a very fun fucking journey, and I have been very happy with where it's been so far.
Nice.
Otherwise than that's basically all I've had the ability to play.
Right. Kels?
Yeah, so I've just played a little bit of the old Ubisoft X Defiant. That's all I've really gotten in. It's fun. It's a nice little arcade shooter reshoot.
Nice.
Didn't give him any of my money, so I'm cool with it.
Has it changed much from its initial cringy reveal?
I'd say so. I think so. What I think's cool about it, to give it any sort of credit, I feel like a lot of like the maps and like a lot of the thought going into it is kind of like Ubisoft's, like almost like their Smash, because it's a representative of kind of like their past, present, and future going forth. I feel like a lot of the maps, whenever like they do the intro for it, like they show off the map, the name pops up. The maps that are unique to certain games will pop up, like what game they're in, like, oh, Division 1, New York, whatever. And some of them are specifically made for the game, but some are like directly taken from other games. And I think that's really cool. It's really cool, like shout out to them, like, because it is technically like a hero shooter. Like all the different operators are from different Ubisoft games, so I think it's another like added layer of uniqueness to it. It's not just random military guy trying to be Call of Duty, which I think
remember
cool.
my soul leaving my body when the Splinter Cell representation first was revealed.
Yeah, because at first it was weird because it was branded Tom Clancy's X Defiant, and it was like they were really trying to make it like a modernization or like a neon, like cyberpunk looking.
Yeah,
like
it was like that kind of pastel goth punk kind of aesthetic.
it was really weird how they're like presenting it, and it's even weirder now because the final game doesn't look or act anything like that. So it's interesting that they stripped away Tom Clancy and from the naming and instead just branded it like Ubisoft X Defiant, because that's really what it is. It's like a Ubisoft platform, and it's free to play. So I mean, there's that. But
You
other than
know,
that, I feel like it takes what a lot of people were complaining about Call of Duty, and they're just saying, "Fuck it, we're gonna do that stuff and just give those people what they want." Could be a bad thing because it's one of those things like, do you want to give the crybabies what they want because they're just going to keep crying and not ever be pleased with what they have? But who knows?
speaking of Tom Clancy, because we've been talking about authors lately, now that's the real
go.
test. That man has been dead for 15 years and still putting out new books. Will Stephen King be able to top that? Will Stephen King be dead for like 30 years and we'll still get Stephen King books?
I can imagine so.
Right.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh no, Stephen King died while we were talking.
no.
Oh god.
So, well, there was death, but this is a while ago. Unfortunately, this is the 8th anniversary of our Lord and Savior Harambe's passing.
Oh god.
Pepperoni and cheese.
When the timelines did shift and we fell into the wrong one.
When
All
we
downhill
entered the
from there.
Bear Stein universe.
Yeah.
Did they ever say why they didn't just drink him? Is it just because it would have been a lot?
I think it's that, and it's like there's like a cooldown factor to it, right? Like once you trank it, it's not just like they're falling over.
Right.
There's a big old bitch, so they had to do the old turn the off
Holy
button on
Yeller.
them.
I still sing Here Without Harambe instead of Here Without You. Every time. I could imagine. I'm gonna put this out there, and I already know 100% what the answer is gonna be. Parents should have been hit 100% with every form of punishment with that, right?
Yeah, like some kind of fine,
Fuck
something.
is,
Like you
how
have
the
to-
fuck are you gonna take kids there? And you're gonna let your fucking kid climb a 3-foot fence in there. You be a parent. And by that I mean have your kid taken away.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
Harambe's
the kid was
now.
taken away.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's I understand
You legally
parenting
lost
is
kids
easier on
today.
paper, right? When you have like 2, 3, 4 of them and it's like hard to manage them, but like you should have raised a kid that knows better than to jump in the fucking fence with goddamn gorillas. Like, Jesus H. Christ.
I
That's
mean,
your
literal fucking
responsibility.
cokeheads manage to fucking somewhat raise children that don't end up getting killed by giant monkeys.
Yep.
Like, I'm just saying.
Right.
It's wild how little effort is involved in not getting her killed by a giant monkey.
Well, fair, they didn't get killed by a giant monkey. The kid was fine.
In
They may as well have
Cincinnati,
been.
of all places.
Right. Yeah, that's just I always get so bummed out. I'm like, goddamn, the gorilla is fucking raised in there, and that's how they lived, and it's like, let's take care of them.
Yeah, for real. That's their
Um,
territory.
Yeah. I always get a little weird when I'm in zoos because like part of me is like I kind of get a little sad because like I'm
Yep,
like I hate
every
seeing
time,
them
dude.
kind of, but then also like it's that they are being cared for and like that, so it's safer environment than some places could be for them. So it's like I don't know. I'm always a little both minded either way. So that's why I just don't go because I'm like I'm too kind of split minded on this. I like seeing the penguins.
Yeah,
I'm like those are my homies. And they have like, and there's really like a big group of penguins, so it's like they could be socialized and all that stuff. But like, it's like whenever I see
That's
a
why
fish tank, you ever get bummed out when you see like a fish tank and there's only like one fish in there, or like a bird
Yeah.
cage?
Yes.
I'm like, I get so bummed out because like, what the fuck is it doing all day? Like, give it some. That's how I felt with my cat too. That's why I had, even though
Yeah.
she fucking tried her hardest to get I had another cat for like a week or two, and she just Tess was fucking pissed. She was like, I'm not fucking eating. Get out of here. But then I was like, nah, you shut the fuck up. You need someone here. Here's orange juice.
You're something with one brain cell.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
and now because you were annoying, he's a big boy, and you gotta deal with that. But yeah, I get so bummed out whenever I see just like one animal, just like in like a fish tank or like a cage. I'm like, is there just like floating there? And so what's it thinking? What's it doing all day? Give it something.
Yeah,
else.
that's why I like places because like the one I always reference is Disney World, their Animal Kingdom. It's considered like a refuge for animals. Like they care for them and they hospitalize them and they'll like raise and care for them there. And like get them adapted to go back to nature or just keep them there.
Did you guys hear about Wally?
No.
Yeah, be more specific.
Wally the alligator.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, from Loki.
So,
Oh, God.
David, let me bum you out. Okay. Wally, it's the alligator that was based off of the alligator in Loki. Wally was a domesticated alligator who was an emotional service alligator for this guy in Florida.
Fascinating. All right.
Super sweet alligator. The man was like, I think he lost like a lot. He lost like, I could be getting the number wrong. I remember it was an obscene number, but he lost like 7 friends all at once, and he was like in a mad depression. Like he was like, I don't have anything to fucking live for. And then just randomly, this baby alligator, just like newly hatched alligator, just kind of like popped it around.
Popped out of his toilet. Was like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah, it was like just popped. So he cared for it, and he was gonna give it back to that, but it found that the alligator was totally docile, like totally chill. He was raised off like his diet consisted of like chicken legs and like Cheetos. He was chill. He would be brought around people.
Yeah.
He would love to get pet. He would go around everywhere. He
Aw.
never bit anyone ever. Fantastic story, wholesome, right? Let me fuck you up, David. Okay, about like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, some little funny prankster guy thought it'd be funny to break in and move the alligator from his lawn to someone else's lawn. Florida lady over there just saw an alligator in her yard and captured it and called the catchers to come get it. Catcher got it and took it and just released it somewhere. And the catcher won't
Fucking
tell.
hell.
Catcher won't tell them where they're at. They said I released it somewhere on private property. He won't tell. Everyone says that's fucking weird, so they're trying to assume because like, what the fuck? Something you're not saying something. Like he had like 3 different stories, but the alligator's out there, and it's like alligator's completely docile, totally domesticated. So and he's small, so it's like.
If he's not saying,
gone.
if he's giving multiple different stories, he killed that fucking
Either
idiot.
Yeah, I was
that-
about to say he kept it or he killed it.
Either that or like release it somewhere where he saw like put it out there somewhere and saw like he saw something, and so like they're trying to put litigation on him, but like that alligator is like, even if it was like something, he's like that alligator's fucked. Like there is 0% chance that thing is like it is gonna survive out there, right? During mating season, being smaller like that, it's like it's fucked. And like that poor dude just been like trying his best to find. He's been out there like every single day, and like he was
Fucking
released like
hell.
somewhere in this 400-acre wide like swamp. So yeah, that's on him.
Really, I hope whoever fucking did that has their goddamn kneecaps broken.
Like it's yeah.
Yeah,
put,
like,
put
That's
him
the
in the,
pants
minimum
in
of what you
traffic.
deserve.
put him in front of fucking
Yeah.
Joel in The Last of Us. Just let him see him pointing at a map with the fucking.
Let him
knife.
be Joel.
Where's
in
the
Last of
alligator?
Us
Where did
2.
where did you put the alligator? Just stab. Dude, this as a kid that's grown up watching Jackass and liking the silly pranks on just people, I never took pranks to an extreme level. I liked being a nuisance, but like that was it. I I think the most annoying thing I've done was like we would prank call the same pizza place all the time, or like we would we've called like a random number and this old lady got mad at us, so we put her number in as old lady or old angry lady, and we would call her like maybe once a morning, maybe.
Yeah, but
That's that. But like I don't understand this extreme thing of like fucking with someone, right? And it's like I don't know. Like if you were gonna go into someone's yard and take it to alligator, first off, like you would have had to know that it was like a docile one, right? But yeah, I feel so bad because that guy. You look up videos of that guy and him is like he had pictures of his alligator on his shirt. Always hanging out with the alligator, taking him around to like the places to like cheer people up. People were like, "Oh, it's a conspiracy because he asked for this much money on GoFundMe." You guys are fucking idiots because like he made more money off merch off Wally's. Like, why would he go and lose his own alligator and just like ask for money? So shout out to that guy. I hope there's a miracle in this world where he could find it because that'd be amazing. But like, no shot that alligator is alive.
yeah, not in Florida. No, nothing good is happening. There is no happy ending in Florida.
Yeah, I've seen Dexter. Did not have a good ending.
No, it did not. That was a shitty last. I mean, honestly, it went downhill after season 4. Let's be honest, but
Right. But yeah, that was a bummer thing to read about. And then that I just hate that.
that's upsetting. Fucking
that is
people are
sad.
shit.
I watched a video just on. It was just people. I hate prank videos currently. It's not like for a long time. Like prank videos have gone beyond of just like being a slight nuisance to people. It's like, bro, can we stop?
No, prank videos, especially because of like YouTube and shit, have evolved into just domestic terrorism at this point.
Right.
Let me run around and cut people's headphones, or let me just go smash someone's
There
car
was
with
that
this
one
fucking
where
marker
someone
shit.
literally. I remember a few years ago, someone literally like from an old lady just picked up a tiny dog and ran. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I think I could be getting it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they figured it out and they got the dog back. But I'm like, you guys are fucking insanity. Like I grew up watching Mega 64 too. I'm like, all right, they walk around just say something dumb and bug a few people in there, and okay, but like, it should never go to the extreme, right? Where I think the video I watched was these three dummies obviously faking it, like we're gonna try and survive staying in a Walmart for 12 hours, see if they notice us, and it's like obviously scripted, and like, but all they do is like bug the employees to extreme amount. Like and Mega 64 has bugged an employee, but like they've been out like pretty quickly, like they kind of get out of there. But it's like, yeah, I was gonna say that, everybody. I saw pranks where these people would just go into people's houses. These people would just walk, and it was not in America.
What?
It was not America, because
Clearly not, because they would be fucking dead.
right. But it was like in the UK or something. 3 guys would walk in, they just started in the living room, and the guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "I'm like doing this, just kicking their feet up." And then I'm like, and every comment's like, "Bro, you're lucky you don't live in fucking America, because Lord help you. Do that prank here, bro. Do that prank
You want to
here."
see what you're gonna get? You walk in my
Dude,
house?
do that anywhere in the goddamn South, and you're fucking dead.
I got
Yeah.
a fucking sword right here, bro. You wanna walk into my house? No way, dude. Fuck yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I only have a Tampa immediately near me.
Yeah, and and this is on the lighter end of things. These weapons are on the much lighter end of things.
That's
Well,
what we got in America.
Yeah,
We got Tampa and swords.
go to Texas and walk into someone's house and just see what happens. Make sure
Honestly,
you film
I
it.
mean too, but
Anywhere there's a stand your ground law, like just film it and just see. And I do. That was it. There's those videos where it's like it'll be just the Ring camera and you see someone break in, and then like you'll hear some yelling, and 2 seconds later you see like two people come in and only one comes out limping or trying to haul ass. Like, yeah, congratulations, fucking dumbass. Grant, it seems like he learned his actions were terrible and decided to do other stuff with that. Well, hopefully, clout has fucked with people to a point where they should stop being things.
you know, we had a warning as a society a long time ago when we had like the super extreme end of things, like 2 guys, 1 hammer, of like people are willing to do some fucking heinous shit for a bit of popularity. We should have took it as a warning sign then that maybe we're going into a dangerous direction as a society.
Yeah. It's pretty obscene just where things are at with that. Wasn't it like the fall of the Roman Empire was entertainment? Wasn't that what one of the things? Because like it was
Yeah,
always
the whole point of the
gladiatorial and
Colosseum
stuff
was
like that.
basically as a distraction.
Yeah, I always think about that at least once a week.
So you are one of the prototypical men
Yeah.
that always thinks about the
Thinking of
Roman
the
Empire.
Yeah, well, I also just think I'm like when because we wonder like where we're gonna be at in the history books, and I are we gonna be in that turning point where something just fucks up and we're going down? Because like we're at a weird
How
Are
spot.
there going to be
often?
history books anymore? Is the question.
I mean, eventually.
How
I'm
many
sorry, in the
times
history.
per week are you thinking about the Sengoku period in Japan?
Well, how about are we gonna be in the YouTube video essay?
Yep.
I watch a lot of video essays. if you haven't noticed. That's where all my random logic or my random knowledge of just stuff comes happen. Let's see. Random thing, but it looks like the first Sly Cooper will be available for PS4 and PS5. I think in a few weeks. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's good for the Sly Cooper fans that finally got a crumb of something.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll mention what I played in a second, but what'd you guys get?
Well, I alluded to this last week. I need a fucking.
Just don't leave
fine.
a mark on your wall.
No, I think I accidentally hit my Casio loopy with it.
Say your cat.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're all locked out. No, the loopy looks fine. So I alluded to this last week. I got a board game clearance sale
Yes, you did.
where I got like $600 of board games for $30 plus $7 shipping, and that has arrived. And I sent you two the picture. 22 pounds of fucking board games in the mail. So let's go through these. So first up, and keep in mind, this is like half the games I actually had added to my cart. They were just selling out that fast. But I got this one because my partner and I are starting to get a lot of nieces and nephews. A lot of our friends have decided that this is breeding season. So we have a lot of those now. So we're gonna start needing to get board games for little ones when we start having them come over. So there's this cute little board game we got here, No Mercy for Monsters. And it looks like just kind of like you set up a little scene and you throw shit at the cardboard cutouts.
Nice.
It was $2. So I said, fuck it, we need board games for kids because our friends are having those now.
Because I'm here to announce.
Yes. No, that's never happening unless it's an adoption. And then they'll be well prepared in advance. Yes, then we got this one here. It's called Snow Time.
Interesting.
This looks like kind of like a card drafting game where you're like competing with everyone to climb a tree, essentially. So as you ascend a tree, you get into kind of like you remember the old card game War, where you're just kind of flipping through a deck of cards. It's kind of like that as you're ascending a tree against other players. I don't know. Looks kind of cute. Was a couple bucks. What do I care? Got this game called Winter Queen. I'm gonna be honest. I bought it just because I'm like I can harvest these for D&D campaigns and just use them as gems and shit. But from reading the back of it, it seems like a girl-centric version of Settlers of Catan, just with fucking queens and rubies and shit.
Oh,
fuck it, why not?
How inclusive.
Exactly. I got some tabletop RPG books here. We got the Dark Age Core Rule Set and Dark Age Outcasts.
Nice.
Funny thing is that when you actually read the back of it, it says you need to buy minis to actually play their game because all the minis come with the individual rules of how the creatures work. I fucking hate games like that. Shout outs to Relic Knights. One of the Kickstarters I spent the most amount of money on and immediately destroyed my collection for, and fucking cried when that happened because I spent like $350 on those minis just to accidentally destroy them all. So, fuck me. But those were 50 cents each, so what do I care? Then we got Atlanta Dice. It's a dice drafting game to shake things up a little bit. Basically you try to fight for control of the city and you roll dice.
That's how you become mayor of Atlanta.
Exactly. Atlanta is, the suburb in Atlanta is.
Gotcha.
Literally got this just because the fucking cover art looked neat. It was
cool.
$2. What do I care? Dreadful Circus. This seems like another kind of card drafting game where you're trying to fight the other players to draft the most insane, obscure circus you can. Looks fucking weird. I kind of dig it. The art style's kind of neat. This one I actually might play soon. 'Cause I have a group of friends that we all play board games because we all have a crippling addiction to buying board games. So eventually I'll play that one. Then we got this fucking big beefy boy that I actually bought with intention called Helios Expanse. It's a good old 4X style fucking tabletop game. Anytime you combine 4X elements on a fucking tabletop game, I'm happy. Fucking Scythe is a phenomenal one. If you ever get the chance to play Scythe, fucking highly recommend. Really good fucking game.
It's like the one on my list
but-
I need to grab still. I've got most everything else, but everyone always tells me to get that one.
Yeah, no. Buddy of mine, Charlotte, she has that and the expansion for it, and we played it a couple times. Just fucking peak. Once you get in the flow, it goes so quick because it's also designed around everyone taking their turn at the same time, as opposed to everyone going one at a time. And so once you get into the flow of it, it's just games. It's so fucking fluid. And then another one that I got with attention, Falling Stars. This is a whole ass tabletop RPG system that also just comes with a huge ass fucking bit of minis and maps and dice and other shit that I already have billions of. But fuck you, it was $3, so why not? And so that is the army of fucking board games and heft that I got. I must pee now as one of you goes now.
I just saw a thread on Twitter.
Table out of my way.
What was the incident at your high school?
There's multiple incidents.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of one, but my high school was so big that I don't think we necessarily really had one.
So I went to 2 different ones. One of the big things that happened at my high school happened like while I was still in middle school before I got there. A dude shot himself and killed himself in the band closet, like
Fuck.
the year before my freshman year.
Jesus.
So that was crazy. Yeah. And then I don't know. And then after that, it was usually just like, oh, someone's blowing someone on the south stairwell type thing.
Yeah. I'm looking at let's see, I'm gonna read some of these. Let's see. Somebody came on cupcakes and gave it to the food class teacher.
Gross.
Let's see. A naked homeless guy started jumping from car to car in the parking lot. And we had to watch cops chase him for 2.5 hours.
That's awesome.
Let's see. A man ran naked through the hallway. Another teacher teachers or security wanted to touch him. Finally, the history teacher either got heroic or horny and made a move. Let's see. A special needs kid fought a teacher in the middle of a field during a prep rally. Let's see.
Rumor is bullshit.
Hold on 1 second, David.
I ain't holding shit.
A girl in my
Actually,
class
I
ran
lied,
off with the
'cause-
gym teacher, became a Buffalo Jill's cheerleader, and got pregnant by a player that got traded, so she and the gym teacher got back together.
What in fucking Alabama are you reading?
Hold on, let me find one more and then. When someone got pregnant by the gym teacher and he got fired, she dropped out, and now they're married, living their best life. I'm reading a Twitter thread. What was the quote unquote incident at your high school? But you wouldn't know because then you got you dropped out before you.
No, because I was the incident at my high school.
And no one knows who you were. You literally just, you showed up.
Oh no, I people knew who I was in high school for the limited time I was there because I choked a kid out.
Just for fun.
I know. So TLDR on
He
that.
said you wouldn't choke me out. David said, "Yes,
Yeah,
I would."
Actually, yeah,
love
like,
that.
that's kinda how it went.
Person before getting stabbed. What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Yeah,
That's actually not too far off. So TLDR, I got into a fight in middle school that I ended up just taking a fall on because guy did the usual like, oh, let's go fight. I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go fight. And then he shows up with like 10 of his friends, and I'm like, no, we're not playing this game. So I took a couple of hits and then I fucking went home because No, my ass is getting fucking destroyed if I go ahead and beat this fucking kid and his 10 friends are watching me beat the shit out of him. That's not fucking happening. I'll take my lumps and go home and fucking enjoy the rest of my day. So that happened in middle school. Fast forward to high school. And a friend of that kid was giving me shit in school one day. During like the limited time I was actually in high school. Because I think altogether I probably spent like maybe 4 months in high school total.
Didn't you make a semester?
No, I really didn't. Legitimately, I got really sick and missed about a month in my freshman year. Showed up after, was told by my guidance counselor, why the fuck are you showing up to school? You're not going to get your credits anyways. So like, all right, fuck it. I guess I'm just not going to show up to school then. Then was homeless for a while, shenanigans ensued, etc. But during my tenure, my very brief tenure, one of the friends of the guy that I got into that altercation with was sitting next to me during I think it was social studies or some shit like that. And just out of nowhere, a dude starts giving me like a fucking purple nurple. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, what are you gonna do about it? I'm like, I'll straight up tell you what I'm gonna do about it. I will fucking grab you by the goddamn throat and pin you to the wall if you do it again. He's like, no, you're not gonna do that. So he does it again. So I do it. I stand up, I grab him with both hands by the throat, I drag him to the back of the class, and I just pin him up against the wall and choke the shit out of him. And then eventually the teacher realizes what's going on, sends us to the fucking principal's office. I'm sitting there, just big chilling. He's fucking crying. He goes into the principal's office first. I can hear the shouting. Then about like 10 minutes later, he comes out, head down, runs off. I get called into the principal's office. Principal's like, so, Mr. Last Name, what happened? I'm like, well, he was laying his hands on me. Told him if he didn't stop it, I'd choke him.
He twisted my nipple uncomfortably.
Yeah, I just kept it very plain.
What the purple nurple is.
I kept it very plain with the principal. I was like, he put his hands on me. I told him politely, stop or I will.
It did not turn me on.
It did not, in fact, turn me on. And when he didn't stop, I went ahead and I did what I said I was going to do.
I told him I was going to choke him, and he did not stop twisting my nipple.
And so the principal just kind of looked at me dumbfounded, and she's like, well, I've never had someone so polite and so honest before. Because of that, I should actually have the police involved in this matter. But instead, I'm just going to suspend you for like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. So I've got suspended for 2 weeks, came back. And then shortly after that's when I got sick and then was like, fuck it. And then never basically went back to high school again.
I think I told this story in the podcast. I'm pretty sure I did. It's not funny now. The situation around it is funny. I'll explain. It was my body is not ready. So 7th grade, me and my friends are just being hooligans, not really paying attention in class, writing notes, because that's what we did back in the day, back before the day of telecommunications. We write notes, and again, it's not funny, right? But like to 7th grade us, it was funny. We were just laughing at Michael Jackson and just molestation.
Yeah.
And so, because 7th graders are dumb.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
you're dumb kids.
And cancel me over being a dumbass 7th grader. And so, my buddy Thomas wrote on the paper, call 1-800-molestation, and pass it, and was passing it over. And I thought it was fucking funny, so I was like having to hold it in, and the teacher was like, "Hey, what is that? Bring it up here." And she was like, she couldn't read it. She couldn't read it because the handwriting was so ass. Like the handwriting was literally chicken scratch. You had to fucking decipher that shit. So she couldn't read it. She's squinting trying to read it. And I swear, everyone in the class, aside from him, got up there trying to read it. All the kids are trying to read this note. And I hear one of the boys just go, Mel Station? What? And she's like, I can't read this. What does it say? And he just goes, it says molestation. And she's like, wow. All right. And I think she kept him out to class something, and she was like, you know what? This is not okay. You're gonna write a 1-page paper about this, and so you know that it's not an okay thing to joke about. Okay. And then he leaves. He comes back in the next day. Where's your paper? I don't have it. Why don't you have it? My mom said I shouldn't be writing about that.
All right. I got one.
Well, what are you gonna do? Hey, I asked your son to write about molestation. Why does he not have this paper? I'm like, that's a fair play. Yeah, that
fair play.
probably should not have been what you told the fucking kid to do, is write a 1-page paper on that.
Nope.
No, but I think one of my favorite, like, the teacher catching some heinous shit moments in school. This is also back in middle school. This is the first time that we got, like, to take laptops home with us. We got the MacBooks that we could go ahead and take home and all that. And
What was it,
a buddy
COVID-19
of
back
mine-
then, or what?
And so we got to go ahead and do that. And a buddy of mine, we all kind of worked together to figure out how to take off all the safety shit on the laptops. Because school IT is a joke because
I already know.
Yeah, I
we're going over this.
remember I taught all the freshmen how to use proxies whenever they got the laptops whenever I was a senior.
right. And so he ended up making a nice little stash for himself on his laptop.
Mm.
The problem is the kid had no sense of time and place. And so one day in the middle of science class,
As anyone does that's jerking off all day.
we're kind of going through.
Hey, Pepperoni's taking off
and
saying I would have tried to hold my laughter. I was a teacher that. You take care. Have a good night.
Have a good one, homie. So yeah, we're in the middle of science class, and we have a substitute teacher, and she's trying her best to just kind of like fill in and
Sure.
do the regular rigmarole as you do. And then there's just my buddy over there who's just intently staring at his fucking screen. And like she kind of gets the feeling that something's off. And I turn myself to look over, and I see my buddy doing some one-armed cardio, and so I just turn back. And bless her fucking heart, this fucking science teacher's like, "Oh, whatever you're staring at must be so much more important." Fucking catches him, dick in hand. And I had never seen someone turn legitimately tomato red before in my fucking life until that moment.
Who?
And
Her
I'm just
or
like,
the,
you
or
know-
the one jerking?
Her. He had no shame. He was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hi." Not what it looks like.
Adrian, what do you do as a teacher if you catch your student dick out in class?
Yeah. So I went through all high school never having like that weirdo kid, which is great. So far, not have to dealt with
I
that.
your brother say, "Yeah, I've got like 5 dicks in hands so far."
At the juvenile
Real
center.
epidemic.
At the juvenile center, it was we would catch them on porn every now and then, right? Because I mean they're locked up boys, and they're that.
Yeah.
It was so funny. There's like a couple times where I swear to God, like you could see what they're looking at, but they try to hide it, so it would be on the fucking smallest fucking window of all time, just somewhere like on their screen, to the point where like, bro, you can't even see that. You just got in trouble for something you fucking use a magnifying glass for. But there was like, it was
What is
once.
this, porn for ants?
There was once, it was so funny. There was once where one of the kids got caught, and I forget I think he was I forget if I'm intertwining two stories, but like I think it was like Alexis Text he was looking for or something or I'm intertwining something else. But like I swear, because you had to get to like a screen grab of what they're doing to like and print it out,
Yeah.
and that's what you're gonna have to go in front of like a judge for that too, which is fucking funny. But like whatever we caught them on, I forget what, but it was like the most comically fucking Photoshop biggest ass of all fucking time. Like it was like
Well,
fucking comically fucking huge. We were like we printed out and like all the hey juice, don't sit on that. We were all we were just showing it to each other. We pull out the printer like look at what he was looking, and then one of my coworkers was just so funny, just the way he described it. Like, hey, tell him what you describe that girl that they were looking up. Oh my god, just the fucking like the biggest fucking ass you've ever seen. It was like you know, like when like old people try to Photoshop something and it comes out it was like that, but just someone did that with someone's ass just fucking huge, or like Jesus H Christ. But yeah, no, I've not had that. There was one situation, and again, it wasn't anything like that, but it was funny because this is when we first started passing out the Chromebooks, and we have Go Guardian on it, and one of the things you could do is look up the history of things, but like as teachers, we can only work on it during the work hours. Admin, you could be at a principal at one school and look up every kid in the district, like at any point. And there were times where the Chromebooks would give you like a flag, like, hey, something probably not good is being looked up or like attempted to or whatever. And so we had this in our principal, and this is middle school. Principal was like, I'm just curious and just looking up just some of the kids in our program, and one of the kids at one of the boys, like I think it was like 6th or 7th grade, at 2:00 in the morning on his Chromebook, Google searched how to shave your balls.
I got the razor. I don't know what to do from here.
And we're just like, they grow up so fast.
Yeah.
Where does it go? Which direction do I move it in?
That's
So
awesome.
I was on that thread for the incidents thing. Just a couple more that I think.
There was a real issue at my high school of people shitting on the floor in the bathroom. I don't know if that was I went to school with some fucking animals, dog. I remember vividly. There was one time, I think it was in like middle school. It was like whenever we were still, it was before high school. Someone shit in the urinal, and it was like the South Park episode. And we went and got janitor. We told teacher they got a janitor. The janitor came in there pissed.
Yeah, well,
He was yelling.
he was shitting.
"Who did it?" Like he was yelling at all of us in there.
And then it turned into kindergarten. He was killing everyone with his mop.
Oh,
Like
man.
nope, not me.
Dude.
Yeah, it was like a real epidemic. Just they would shit next to the toilet too. It's like, what kind of fucking animal do you have to be?
You know, I never experienced that in school, but I experienced that at one. No, I experienced that at one of the places I worked at, where we legitimately got to a point where we almost had to basically have someone standing guards at the toilet at work because there was someone painting on the wall and shit.
Oh no.
And then that person disappeared. And then in the women's bathroom a few months later, we found like a crack spoon.
Dude, women's bathrooms and everything like that are fucking disgusting. I've heard mega horror stories about those.
I mean, there's a reason they hover.
Yeah. So anyway, a few more on here are one. A shooter was in the auditorium thinking about shooting up the school because his friends recorded him fucking a dog, and the video went around the school. Let's see.
Maybe just don't fuck dogs.
Speaking of, let's just say it involved a girl, a phone, a jar of peanut butter, and a pug. Let's see. This one's interesting and unfortunate. Let's see. My high school chemistry teacher lost his son in a freak rail bridge accident. He was fishing with his 5-year-old on the bridge when a train came by. He held his son in front of him because there was no space between the rail and the edge, and the train tore his head off. My teacher, who was the most loved teacher in school, committed suicide the following week.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Let's see.
Holy fuck. That's fucking hell.
Yeah. Let's see.
Back.
You picked a good time to walk away, my guy.
Yeah.
No, I heard the dog fucking part, and that's all I needed to
You
hear.
missed the child decapitation part.
The literal baby decapitation.
Oh god.
Let's see. Robotics teacher got caught doing the deed with a student in a classroom closet. The student was not a robot. Thank you for that.
Thanks for the
As if we needed the clarification.
In the middle of a fight, the principal got beat up too.
Probably deserved it.
There was let's see, hold on before we get to that. Oh, good for them. A bunch of band kids got caught having an orgy in the choir room during a football game.
Doesn't surprise me.
Damn.
Speaking as someone that was in band and chorus for about a year, doesn't surprise me.
Oh, here you go, David. I think this person went to, with Kels. This person went to school with you. Poopatrator in
Were they the
boys'
shitter?
Poopatrator in the boys' rooms making fecal art.
Oh god damn.
Uh,
Fucking animals.
Kid murderer's parents got caught hiding on his girlfriend's roof.
As you do.
Yeah.
Murderer
Murderer on the roof.
Student handed
You
out
won't see me up here. I'll just pretend I'm one of the fucking slats.
student handed out pot brownies to teachers on the last day of senior year. Oh no! The teacher's like, oh no!
Like on one hand, that's fucking shitty. You should never do that to anyone. On the other hand, that is kind of funny.
I'm pretty
but-
sure no teacher
Did
gave a shit.
y'all did y'all do like a senior prank or anything? I guess Adrian?
I would have had to have been a senior.
Yeah.
So I did one so the schools I went to, there was one that was 8th grade and 9th grade. Then the next school was 10th through 12th. At the end of the 9th grade one, I actually did this Pac-Man prank where I made a giant cardboard ghost in Pac-Man and snuck them into school and made two of my friends run around getting like one chasing the other one. And that somehow worked. It was so funny. I would tell my friends like throughout the year, hey, this day, be outside. They're like, all right. And then it finally came to that week before that day. And I was like, oh, fuck. I got to do it now. And so me and a few friends spent the time making those. And I remember I don't remember if I told my parents. I think I told them it was just like a thing we were making for school. But we had to carry in these giant, like 5-foot costumes, but we hid them under blankets, and we're trying to figure out how to get them into school. And we're like, fuck, we can't get in. It was like super early in the morning, and we're trying to carry this, and then security comes out like, hey, what is that? And we look, is that a school project? Yeah. Good for you kids, get your work done. All right, let me unlock this door for you. Like just like so on cue. We're like, cool, thank you. And we hit that in there, and that was fun. I think I was in junior year. The seniors were fucking stupid and thought a good prank would be to park their cars in the courtyard, to which every other student keyed their car. So like their cars just got fucked up because that was dumb. I think the year before us too, some seniors thought it'd be fun to cut down the fucking tree in the middle of the courtyard, which was stupid because just like everyone used that tree, so now we were just pissed. I did want to make my idea for my senior prank was gonna be making the courtyard into like a murder crime scene. So like sneak in at night, paint like a bunch of like body parts in the ground, throw like red dyed water everywhere, and then tape it up with those do not cross tapes. But they heavily increased the security towards the end of the year, so we're like, it's gonna be hard to. I don't think we're able to break in and break out without getting ourselves in trouble pretty hardcore. So did not make it anywhere on that. So
we had a water balloon fight. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Or like our cafeteria like had an outward facing door, and we had an open campus. Like we could walk around campus, eat whatever for lunch. So it was a bunch of the senior football players. We just got ice chests loaded up with water balloons, opened the doors, started pelting people. Water balloon fight, and everyone just ran outside, and it's a big ass water balloon fight.
Nice.
It was cool because we're like all the popular kids were involved, so no one got in trouble.
Nice. I remember. So I never got into a fight, which is surprising. And particularly because I was just a smart mouth, which you would think would get me into trouble more, but just kind of shut people up, which was always interesting. I don't know how that worked, but it did work. And so I remember this one kid, Chase, this fucking idiot on the bus would
This
always
fucking lounge chair.
yeah. I remember I moved, and so I went on to this different bus route, right? And so I got on there, and this fucking dork would always sit in the back and just like try to talk shit, and I would just like shut him down, and he would always try. And I'm just like, no, it's like probably the earliest incarnation of me like just shoving it back at people. I'm like, no, stop it. And I remember like the last day of school, our bus driver was chill. He didn't give a shit. He was kind of down with everything. And so we're like, we're gonna have when we kind of were like, hey, can we have a water fight in the bus? He's like, sure, I'll pull over here at this part over here, and you guys go for it. We're like, sweet. And we just didn't tell anyone else. And so we loaded up like, I'm talking like I brought like 2 or 3 2 liters just filled with water. I brought some balloons. I brought all this, and I just passed them around to my crew, and I was like, he's gonna pull over here. We're gonna yell water balloon fight, and as we do, fuck everyone else. We're just gonna pelt Chase. Like fuck everyone else. Just dunk him. And we're like, all right, cool, let's do it. All right, did that, and we just like swarmed it and surrounded him. I'm literally just dumping this like 2 liter of water on him. People blocked his way out. He's like, ah, and he just came out just fucking soaked. And he's like, those fucking dorks fucking got me all wet. We're like, all right, whatever. We don't look stupid. You do.
No, I got into fights a lot.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, no, I never got into one, which is interesting. Anyway,
Look, if it wasn't for some of those fights, I wouldn't have had the friends I did along the way.
I refreshed fucking Twitter's fucking wild for me lately. I've been trying to like. The algorithm fucked me up because I was just making fun of so many Drake fans. There's too much of this of Drake fans just like all over my timeline. So I'm trying very hard to like just like click anything else. And I refresh and Crazy Clips comes up here, and it's police officer body slams female and she drops loot, and it's just this cop just yeeting this girl on asphalt, and just money flies out of her.
Jesus Christ.
Very interesting. Kels, what'd you get this week?
Yeah, so went and picked up my comics. The old Ultimate Black Panther 4
Nice.
is out.
Hell yeah.
It's getting like I don't know. I don't think they've announced like how long each run is, but issue 4 is still going good. Really waiting to see like how it intersects with the other Ultimate stuff going on, and then we have old Blood Hunt Red Band.
Yeah, I was
still in the package.
I was gonna go grab that, and then I had to deal with a bunch of stuff this week.
Yep, you were busy.
Yeah, but how is it?
So I haven't read the Red Band version because I'm waiting on someone to upload that online because I don't want to crack.
He's
my
leaving
phone
that
open.
shit sealed.
If you find those, let me know. Why don't they fucking make those available?
So from what I understand, it's just kind of weird because like a lot of the comic shops don't want to operate with too much overhead, I guess. So
Okay.
they just do like a minimal order, and then there's a website that I go to that there's a few local shops use as well.
Okay.
It's called leagueofcomicgeeks.com, and from there you make an account and you you select comics that are coming out that you're interested in. You add them to what's called your pull list, and you link it with like a local comic shop, and that's how you get started. So they'll pull those. So no matter what they order, they'll order that copy for you as well.
Why is there never any digitals of this?
So there are, and it's just like So this one specifically says bonus digital edition details inside. So it's a matter of just someone cracking it and uploading it, or someone cracking one open, scanning it. So
But why? But why is it like not like a? Can you buy one? Is there a thing for that, or is
like
it?
buy a digital. I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, there used to be like Comixology.
Well,
but I
yeah.
think they
So like,
went
I mean,
under, didn't
it's
they?
not called that anymore, but like, it's still an Amazon thing. But why is that not just like buy the red?
No,
Band version?
I think for Marvel they have it's called Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Because I looked to
It's
buy,
like
I tried to buy
their
digital for
service.
the red band ones, and they just don't exist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I have no clue about that. That might be like a physical only type thing.
It could be one of those weird things where they can't guarantee who's buying it per se, so they choose just
Mhm.
not to. Especially
could
where
be
so
it.
many states now are creating laws where you have to give a physical identification to get into adult content.
Yeah, like Texas, you can't beat your meat anymore.
Texas,
Legally.
Kentucky, and I think like one other state.
Isn't it like Utah? You have to like upload a picture of yourself or something like that.
Yeah, that's the law in those 3 states.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I will absolutely never give it an ID. I will just use a VPN. Like
They really
any
want to see a
normal fucking
picture of
human
your
being.
horned ass. Like, here's my face. I'm about to jerk.
The UK also, I think it's actually specifically England. You actually also have to give your ID for adult content in there.
Well, you have to have a license for owning
Yes.
a TV as well. So
Yes. But no, out of quick curiosity, I use Kamonga for comic and manga reading. What do you use?
So I just I'll download copies. So I just like to have my like library like filled with. Are you talking about like what software?
Yeah,
or
what
I
app
use
are you
to
using? Because
use
like
it?
Kamga is the app I actually use
Gotcha.
to read my legitimate digital backups of
Mhm,
my
mhm.
comics and my manga.
Right. Yeah, it's all legitimate. I own everything that I have.
Yes, every single thing in there I physically own. You
One.
can come to my house and verify that I 100% own everything that is in my Kamga library. I promise.
Let me see. Yak Reader, YAC, because they I think they come out as that file, and so the reader just reads that file.
Gotcha.
Nice.
No, I use Kamga because I have a dedicated home server, but it's also nice to be able to just on any device in the house be like, all right,
100%.
let's fucking read some fucking comics,
That's
especially
what I
when you're
need
on
to
the
do.
go.
Yeah, right now I just have it on external. I need to get it on like a operational drive just so I can access it anytime.
If you ever need help setting up a Docker server, just let your homeboy know. I will gladly bestow upon you everything I know.
Nice. Anything else?
Adrian,
you
when
get?
are you gonna get an illegal? I'm sorry, a legitimate backup server? When are you gonna enter
It's too
into the
much work.
digital hoarding trend? I literally have like 7 spare computers laying around. I could send your ass and be like, here you go. Here's the pre-set up. Enjoy.
We'll see. Play your cards right.
Like I could when we meet up in Boston, I could literally just give you one.
Yeah, we'll figure it out probably around then. That's all you got?
Yeah, that's it. Bunch of comics. Got some cards. No one cares about that. So,
I care about TCGs.
oh, we have a TCG carrier in chat.
I used to competitively play Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering. I also got into a fist fight at a Yu-Gi-Oh the tournament at one point. I talked about that. Actually, I did talk about that on the podcast once. When, as a stereotypical white person, I'm going to say my one black friend and I were at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Someone was being racist, and a
Ooh.
fist fight broke out with him and the racist competitor. To which I'm like, no, I'm going to throw a hand. Let's fucking go. And so there ended up being a big fucking brawl in the basement with like 6 of us.
Were you on the white side?
Yes, I have
Absolutely.
been. I have been thrown out of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament for getting into a fist
He didn't
fight.
answer that. That's how you know. Were you on the white side, David?
I didn't hear the question. The white side? No.
Okay, good.
I was standing up for my black friend because that is the level of dedicated I am to having a token person in my life. As Adrian is my one token Mexican friend,
It's
Kels
true.
is now my one token Asian friend.
It's true.
I continue to have one token friend of every minority.
He has all the
So
Infinity Stones.
it's true. I have the Infinity Stones of minorities. My partner is pansexual, so I have the LGBT representation there. I have the Infinity Stone of minorities.
Good call. Love that for you.
Yeah, so get a little bit more nerdy with it. I have this bad boy, the soul. Will it focus? I don't know.
How actually has been the staying power for the Star Wars TCG, honestly?
It's been really good so far. So like all of our local turnout, we've had our showdowns going on. This is Luke. Really good showdown, really good turnout for the showdowns. We've been packed. We've either hit 32, which is the max, or we've been about 30, 28, which is cool too, because I live in OKC and Tulsa is about an hour and a half away. Another big,
Gotcha.
really big city. So there's been a lot of overlap there. So a lot of our guys go there, a lot of their guys come here, and it's been really cool. And it's getting bigger too because set 2 drops in July, like mid-July. And I think before then they're going to be at Gen Con in Indiana. And those have all like they did a weird thing for the events there. Like it's all like pre-order. You had to get on a wait list for it, and it sold out like almost instantly. So just from that and how set 1 sold out and been selling out, it seems like it has staying power. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
I'm curious because that's always the big thing with me with a lot of the newer TCGs. Like
For sure.
I know in America, Weiss Schwartz just finally started taking off. And that's a TCG that conceptually I really dig the concept of because it's literally just fuck it, everything's a crossover. We'll just get whatever property we can and turn it into a set in this TCG. But I know that Flesh and Blood still seems to kind of be going along. I think MetaZoo is kind of tapped out. I don't know if they're still actually around or not.
See, I've seen a few places like talk about it, like it's been on like their event board, but I've never seen anything about it.
It's one of those frustrating things that I like I said, I used to play TCGs competitively. Magic is that mistress I always go back to. As much as I really fucking hate what WotC has done with the property in modern times, there is still always that itch in my brain that's like, yeah, but like, what if I went back and just recreated a Flash Hulk deck for giggles and do turn 0 wins? Because that's kind of funny sometimes. But it's definitely something that out of modern TCGs, anything within the past like 10 years, we'll say, the only ones that I can think of that have had any like actual staying power have been like Force of Will and the Final Fantasy one. Even the Final Fantasy one, I feel like is so niche, which is upsetting because that one was actually kind of fun. I really enjoyed drafting. If you're a big fan of drafting formats, Final Fantasy is a great fucking TCG for drafts. But
yeah, like in my area, the big ones are, of course, it's going to be Pokemon and Magic, and then Yu-Gi-Oh's a lot smaller. Like there's a big like resale community, of course, but there's not like a big like active like show up and play community. I think our Star Wars like group probably outnumbers Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, it's definitely Pokemon and Magic are the big ones, and then after that, One Piece has like a TCG right now that's been popping off. Yeah, but it's been having like the issue of just stock, like they haven't been able to keep stock, and what is it, Lorcana is the other big one.
Yes, the Disney one there. Man, Lorcana was kind of tempting, but at the same time, I don't want to get into a physical TCG. Once it eventually inevitably ends up on Cockatrice, I'm sure I'll tinker with it. But I also just don't want to give Disney money. So I mean,
yeah, no, I was the same way. I wanted to get into it, but my issue was the stock because Lorcana had that issue too. Like they sold out pretty much instantly, and you could get like starter decks, and that was about it. And so I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just wait until more comes in. And by the time more came in, I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm already
Oh,
over
fuck.
it.
What was
But
that
luckily,
other
whenever
one? Sorry.
no, you're good. But yeah, luckily, whenever Star Wars came out, I was like, someone hit me up about. I was like, yeah, I like Star Wars. I'll fuck with it. And I just really like the format. It breaks the mold of like a. I've heard a lot of people liken it to like a was it Force to Will or whatever you said it was.
Yeah, Force of Will.
Force of Will, because it's more like back and forth actions, and
Ooh,
rather than like
okay.
someone just sitting there waiting on them to take, because a player's turn is one action pretty much. So your action is like playing a card or like tapping something or something of the sort, and you're just going back and forth until you use all your resources. So and then after that, that's whenever you draw, place another resource, and then you're just going back and forth. So it's a really good reactive gameplay that you're just going back and being able to react really quickly without like interrupting the flow of action with a reaction.
It's trying to keep both players engaged, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not sitting there waiting forever while someone like plays out their mana to buff, do whatever. That'll
Little did
that'll
you
die.
realize I brought fucking 5-color slivers. So you're gonna sit there for an hour as I just fill the board with sliver tokens.
Yep.
That all swing
Yep.
for 9,000, 9,000.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. Set 2's coming out. The spoilers so far have been really fucking cool. Can't wait for it. I just hope that so a lot of the cards have shot up in price, like the showcases, especially like the big because you have leaders, which is I guess Flesh and Blood has it. It's kind of like how Commander works in Magic. Your deck
Gotcha.
pretty much revolves around that leader color and a lot of its subtext too, because like you have the additional context to the card. But so a lot of those have showcases, and those are like shot up in price, like 6, 7, 800 bucks. Like I think of
Holy
Boba,
Christ.
yeah, because Boba Fett's one of the leaders, and his showcase, I think it started off, it was like still the most expensive one. People are selling it for like 400. Now it's like 850, 900. It's insane. It's so
is
crazy.
Showcase like a secret rare kind of variant
Yeah,
situation? Or
yeah,
okay.
it's an all art foil. It's really pretty, nice, something cool to have, and it's just gone insane.
So I suppose that's the kind of last question for me, and then we'll continue on here. Like, how is the secondary market? Because that's always the hardest part for someone getting into a TCG is that secondary market.
It was outrageous at one point, but I think it hit its plateau, and now it's kind of starting to fall a little bit. Like every time I'm like, oh, I need this card, and I'm like, no, I'll hold off. I'll go back and check, and it's fallen by like another $5. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm really glad I held off on getting that now. So it's been steady. It shot up at one point, plateaued, and it's starting to fall back down. It's starting to come back down to earth.
Okay. Have there been
Especially.
commitments to like reprint shit to help stabilize it further, or?
Yep. Yeah. So they consider, I think what they're saying is that they're considering it evergreen. They're going to keep reprinting it as long as there's like desire for it.
Okay.
But they've already said the set 1, they are going to be reprinting, and that will hit by holidays of this year. So, but I think they also did say they were planning on doing a
I'm gonna
rotation.
surprise y'all by saying I gotta pick again.
Jesus H Christ, brother.
Have you kept up at all with Marvel Snap? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
See, I haven't. I was one of those people that binged it at the start and was all over it, but I had to like take myself off of it because I was like at work in the bathroom, like playing Marvel Snap.
I was actually just playing a little bit real quick. I no, and I mentioned I do play it like I do play it every day, but it's also turned me down on my doom scrolling a lot more. Like I don't really scroll too much social media versus that, which I prefer that over social media. But yeah,
it's something that's engaging you at least.
Yeah, and I can multitask. I'll put a video on that I'll actually pay attention to. But yeah, I hit Infinite 2 days ago, I think. Yesterday, I forget what day, for the first time in a few months. I used to do it every single month, and I don't know what happened, but one month just everyone got sweaty, and they just fucking, that's all they've been playing.
The meta just switches up real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I've been doing that. And you know what the fun part is that it does get me interested and knowledgeable at least on some of these characters that I'm much more inclined to like. I know a lot of characters now. Couldn't
Yeah.
tell you what happens in the story, but like I know
Just been
what of
fun.
them now, which has been fun at least. So it's like now when I hear, oh, this thing, I'm like, oh, I know that character.
Right.
That's
This
what
is
they
what they
did.
do in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, except sometimes it does not mesh with what they probably would do.
Right.
Um,
See, that's what's so funny about this Star Wars game too is so one of the places I go to play at, it's kind of like a cafe vibe and they have TVs up and so they'll usually play Star Wars like while we're there playing the Star Wars game.
Mhm.
Card art is like directly taken like from the movie like a scene for like an event or like an upgrade that you have.
Right.
It's so funny to watch it and you're like, "Oh, that's that card." And like you read the card effect, it like does this and like in the context of the scene, you're kind of like, "You know what? That makes a little bit of sense here. Like I kind of understand that."
right. I didn't realize that Mr. Beast is only 4 million away from passing T series.
I've seen something like T Series was trying to rally to like keep the lead. Like I've seen that a few weeks ago.
I believe. I remember when Mr. Beast was trying to get PewDiePie to stay above T series, which is interesting. He's about to pass it now. He makes about 2.5 million per each video, but he just says he's not rich. He's just like I throw all that shit right back in the next video, which makes sense, right? Because you ever watch the videos are absurd, whatever he's been doing.
Well, it's a machine, right? Like you have to spend the money to make the money.
Yeah, that's how he's always thought, and everyone claims he's like massively rich. I'm sure he has enough stuff, right? I'm sure he's like chilling.
Yeah,
with
he
Like, he's
probably
he's
has
never gonna
assets.
worry where his next meal's coming from.
right,
No,
but he
like
does say I over invest on these videos sometimes, where it's like yeah, sometimes they just break even.
didn't
Yeah, when
Didn't he-
dude's popping out videos, like I gave 200 people their eyesight back.
Right.
Well, he bought like a whole neighborhood out, right? Too like that like he bought like a whole like area where him and his whole crew live, and that's
Is
where
that
they,
who he
like,
did? I've
build
not heard
up
about
well.
that, but I
Yeah,
believe that.
but like he has like a whole neighborhood or like a compound that he bought. What isn't it like Georgia or
I-
something like that? He's
North
based out of?
Carolina, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, there we go.
He I remember when there was like the smallest bit of controversy was when one editor was trying to speak out. I think someone's like I something happened or whatever, and but like it came out that like dude, like Mr. Beast bought him a house nearby,
Yeah.
or like and just gave him the house, but he just like was getting weird about it. I don't know. If you can get an editing job and like get paid, and the
buy
guy's
me
like,
a
"I'll buy
house?"
your house," like, I'm,
Yeah,
all right, cool, we're good. Yeah, that like I watch the videos. That's fine, but
Yeah,
I've
like,
never
I've-
gotten into him, but I appreciate what he does. Like it's kind of one of those things that like I don't know him as a person. I don't know if truly at the end of the day he is actually a good person or if it's for show. But like at the end of the day, it's hard to hate on someone who does legitimately do so much for so many people.
I
you
would
know what
say
mean?
for being this popular and not having anything said about you is a pretty good sign, right? Because like for being as notable as you are, like PewDiePie got like like you know like I'm saying like something that says
Yeah.
about all these people at some point, and he's been online making stuff since like 13. So like if nothing's been out so far, like good on
Like
you.
the worst you can say about Mr. Beast is like he fell into the whole ghost kitchen bullshit.
But even then,
That's-
it wasn't like on the egregious gross side that a lot of things.
my
fall
mi-
under.
my beast burgers were fine.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
let
I
it be
actually didn't
known.
mind mine at all. I was like, yeah.
I'm like, that's what I'm effectively stretching here. I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
you could make the argument that like, how dare he do that? But
There was some
Yeah.
because he doesn't ever start beef. Like some people like try to rise some stuff out of him, and I remember there was one creator who she came out.
Bunny V2.
I think we talked about this. It was like there was a
Oh
competition
yeah,
they
the
had.
hide and seek one.
Yeah.
with the
Rosanna?
cooking lady. Yeah,
Yeah. She said that she actually got like second, but it didn't phrase her as that. But she waited 2 years to mention that, and then like she posted the receipts of the DMs, and all he was saying was like, "Hey, if you want to talk about it, I prefer a call." And she was like, "No, let's talk about here." It's like we can just call, and she was making a big fuss about how he would just rather call than have a conversation on text, which like some of her fans were like, yeah, well, he doesn't want a paper trail, whereas people that also were like me, where I'm like, no, I just think that you probably have more rational conversation via voice versus like
Some
a one in
people
text, which could be
communicate-
misconstrued.
Yeah, some people communicate far better when you can just have a quick conversation. You get the inflection of your voice. You get the intent registered correctly.
Yeah, whereas like
Some
words can be
people just-
twisted out in any sort of way. So it's like, yeah, no, I believe it was fine. But yeah, like I said, like for anything like that, he's been doing fine. All right. What I got. So
Answer.
I bought Modern Warfare 3 for what, like $20, $15 like 3 weeks ago. I traded back to GameStop for $32.50. So made myself a
Nice.
profit on there, and I put it towards
Hell yeah.
Paper Mario.
Nice.
I was like thinking about buying that. I was like, I don't want to spend $60 on that though. And then yeah, they were like, we'll give you $32.50 for this game you bought for less. I was like, sure.
Shout outs to Nintendo for uncensoring the release of this game as well. A trans character actually gets to
Oh,
be
yeah.
trans once again.
Mm.
I was
Nice.
gonna ask you why you got it if you already have it on GameCube, but there you go. You're an ally. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Shout outs to on Instagram, it's the real sprays. I put in a thing for a raffle a few months back, and unfortunately he didn't get that much on the raffle, but I did win. And so we had this thing at the rail yards. There's like a market here, and he messaged me on Instagram like, hey, you won, so just come by and pick whatever you want. And so I grabbed this thing on there, and it's
Hell
and
yeah.
it's black light too. So you put the black light on there, it'll change how it looks on there.
That's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah, so shout outs to him. Excited to hang that up. I haven't grabbed. I was gonna say I haven't grabbed this yet, but I'm tempted to. Where's that game? Lorelei and the hold on. What is it? Lorelei and the Laser Eyes came out last week. I forgot about that. That's the game from Simogo, the people that did Sayonara Wild Hearts. I love that developer. They do this cool game that's stuck on iOS currently. Device 6. It might be on Android. I don't know if it's on Android, but it's definitely on.
Might be on YouTube now.
It might be. But it's an actual like House to Leave style actual thing, which is unfortunate that it's stuck there. It's like you read it, but as you're reading it, like it's like a story unfolding, kind of like with some puzzly elements, but like you'll read the story and like you'll go through like a place with like, oh, there's like someone singing on the piano, and you'll hear the song going. Then you'll say the text go to the side, stuff like this. It's really really cool. I love that game.
Don't pique my interest like that and talk about a mobile game.
Let me see if it's on. I don't think it's on Android because otherwise it would have made its way other places. But let me check. Where is this at? Device 6. It is only on iOS, unfortunately.
Oof.
Hot shit.
Would highly recommend that. That's an awesome game. They also have Yearwalk, which is also fucking incredible.
That is actually a very fascinating game.
Mhm.
Not my cup of tea usually, but I really enjoyed my experience with that.
Yeah, it's super good. It's like a point and click style game, but it's I guess let me just read the summary on Steam. In the old days, man tried to catch a glimpse in the future in the strangest of ways, experienced the ancient Swedish phenomena of year walking through a different kind of first-person adventure that blurs the line between 2 and 3 dimensions, as well as reality and supernatural. Great art style, great eerie story.
Interestingly, multiplayer as well.
Yeah, so super good if you ever want to check that out. That is on Steam. Sayonara Wild Hearts, David, I still would love for you to play. Well, I don't want you to play that. I think you should let your partner play that, and you.
Yeah,
I think you
I
should.
have
It's,
her going through
it's one
Yakuza
sit
0
through.
right now.
it's one
so-
sit through. You'll get it done in all one sitting. It's the way I describe it. It's not something you would like, but maybe she would like, and you probably like in proxy. The best way I heard it described is it's a Carly Rae Jepsen pop album, just via game, which is interesting.
I know our eventual
yeah.
goal
I
is
love Carly.
she does want to go through the entirety of the Annapurna collection at some point. So I know that will inevitably happen.
What's on there again? Let me read the actual contents of it.
Fucking everything.
No,
Solar
actually.
Ash, What Remains of Edith Finch, which is the whole reason I bought it. No, like unironically, for someone that doesn't like these goddamn walking simulators, I was willing to spend $200 on fucking collection of games just for that one fucking game.
So Donut County, Gorogoa, Hindsight, I Am Dead, If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, Neon White, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Solar Ash, Artful Escape, Pathless, and What Remains of Edith Finch. Yeah, that's a fucking incredible list.
Yeah, Donut County was really charming. I actually quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I did too. Gorogoa, I've not gone through. I've not gone through Gorogoa, Hindsight, I Am Dead. I played like halfway through If Found, but I got distracted. No Solar Ash or Pathless. Obviously, Donut County was great. I loved Kentucky Route Zero. Neon White, if that's the only way of playing it, sure, I would recommend the PC over that.
Yeah, I want to play the PC version of
Yeah,
it.
PC over console version 1,000,000,000%, just because it's very precision based, and that's super fun to want to get high scores on. So I would recommend that. And you know what? Weirdly enough, I would, if you were not good at keyboard mouse games like I am, that's a good way to train yourself to get better at it, because you are having to like it's like kind of like those like aim training bots that you see like pro players get warmed up on, because you were having like get like higher scores. You're swiping like with precision trying to hit these perfect things, which is cool. Pushing buttons.
Nah, pro players are playing Osu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know if we do end up doing like our.
Can you imagine doing a Games Gone By series on just the games on here though?
I mean, we've done 2 out of the 15.
But like, but Kels, you play Edith Finch?
Yeah, I actually played it because of the Games Gone By.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
fucking real homie.
Maybe
right
if we that, you know what? I actually don't like. I don't mind that idea at all. Just going through those games, that'd be kind of a. Wheels are turning. I'm gonna let that stew.
I could honestly, especially because what I was originally gonna say is, if we ever did a new game plus of Kentucky Route Zero, I know that's someone that my partner would probably have a lot of fun on the podcast with, because that's so far the only game in the entirety of her and I being together, so 4.5, almost 5 years, where she explicitly walked out of the room while I was playing because she knew she was going to have an emotional journey with the game and wanted to be fresh for it herself when she was ready for it.
Yeah.
So I feel like she is someone you would want to have that conversation with over me, who was like, yeah, I kind of liked it, but I didn't really.
I cry easily too, so you'll probably want to have that conversation with me.
Have you played Kentucky Route Zero?
No, I haven't.
I would love to redo that conversation, and knowing what I know now, to kind of like, all right, let's reapproach it in a way that I think, because I think I'm gonna get David on the second one. I think I know how I approach it differently. I know what to do now, and I could sell it pretty well. I mean, we're still gonna, just FYI, we're still gonna do the Games Gone By games that are on there, because I'm not gonna not do that. But
I mean,
I would. These are all short enough games. Neon White might actually be just the longest one, but that's just because like I got what do you call it, like really into leaderboarding that, so I went 29 hours in that game.
Plus, it's also the only one that's like purely skill based. The rest are all narrative journeys.
Yeah, isn't it like a rogue game, or am I tripping?
It's kind of like a speedrunning shooter.
It's a speedrunning shooter card game.
Yeah.
So
I thought the cards were like the roguelite aspect.
No, so the cards are not. There's no roguelite aspect of that. It's like it's like a set thing, but you'll pick up cards along the way, and those will give you an ability during that run to do something. So like you might hit like 4 cards to give you a triple jump, 1 card that's like a sniper, and you would have to use those things in there. But like you can get nifty with the routes on there, where you're like, all right, they give you 4 double jump around there, but you know what? If I time my jump well, I can use just one of those, jump over here, and skip this whole section and do that. That's kind of where your brain kind of going with that.
Man, just explain roguelike elements is like, no, that's not like that at all.
Yeah. Like, all right, sure. You got it.
Like, roguelike as in like things that you die and start all over?
It also refers to anytime you have like randomized elements like
There's nothing random in it though.
So it's always consistently
Yeah,
those are the same.
Yes, every single thing has the exact same things on every single part. Like it is, if you don't want
Okay,
to,
so like if you're going into a level, it's always gonna have like the 3 super jumps.
Yeah.
If, you know, there's like okay.
So if you want to not care about speed running it, you just go through and it's still skill based. So like some maps will still take you a while, but like if you want to speed run it, there might be little routes that you could take that you can shave off some time. Like a lot of them, especially as you go
Oh, so you
farther.
don't actually have to reach like a certain like time to beat it.
No, no. If you want, if you could take all the time
okay.
you want in the world, but like,
Oh, okay.
but like it'll give you medals. I think you have to at least get like one time to pass the level, but like
I mean,
it's like if you want the platinum, you get this level done in 35 seconds. If you want the gold, get it done in a minute. Want the silver,
gotcha.
2 minutes. Bronze, 3
Okay,
minutes. If you want just a medal, then you got 4 minutes to beat it.
That is a lot more forgiving than Drunken Robot Pornography, which is just straight up a fucking speedrunning shooter. I want to beat that game so badly, and I can't.
No, you'll beat the game. Like there's
okay.
there's no way you don't beat the game. It just it does get tougher. There is a challenge, but like if you want to get like anal about like you need to like especially because it'll tell you your friends times on there, and you're like, motherfucker, he beat me by 10 milliseconds. Fucking hell. So you're gonna go through it again. Like you're gonna keep going, and then like there's times where you can like skip parts of that one specific level. Again, levels take like 30 seconds to like a minute, and some of them are a lot more elaborate. But like you can skip parts where you're like, all right, I could jump and avoid this whole section and go that way. You know, like there's nothing random though. Every single level has the exact same things, the exact same spots.
Okay.
It's just a matter of you refining, skipping, cutting corners here or there. So nothing rogue. Like, you get confused the fuck out of me. I'm like that. Am I getting the genre wrong? No, everything's exactly the same
Gotcha.
the whole way
Okay.
through.
The way you initially said it, it sounded like it was randomized.
No. So like if there,
Okay.
you can like jump. You could do the exact. There's like a plan. There's a route that they give you, but like sometimes there's ways they'll be like, oh, you will see like something in the corner. You're like, wait a second. I'll see a card over there on that side. Wait, I can probably jump to that corner and do that. And there's like hidden stuff around levels. So it encourages you like, hey, do weird stuff that you might think you can do because you probably can do it. But like for those that are kind of, especially on consoles, because like you can't flick around. Like there's sometimes where you're like doing literally like you're doing like a 180 shot to pop something to blast yourself this way, and you have to be precision on that. There's times where like I straight up I play like a level like probably like 45 minutes. It's only like a minute long. Because like, all right, restart. Nope, messed up. Restart. Nope, messed up. Like you're trying to hit this balloon perfect and bounce on this corner. You have like a pixel perfect jump to do on there. Like it's got you on that kind of like thing, and it's like a fast enough restart, a fast enough going. The music's great, and it's like it's fluid enough that it really makes you just like want to go like, all right, go again, faster. But like if you're just chilling, want to get through it, you still got to get through it fast enough. Like you can't just sat around for like 20 minutes to beat a level. You don't need that long. But like you can get through a level just cruising through, and like in time you will bite that level. That's fine.
On that note, I do also genuinely really recommend Drunken Robot Pornography. Like I said, it is a first-person shooter bullet hell time trial game, and it just keeps ramping up in insanity and how fast you have to beat it because. That's why I was curious of like if you have all the time in the world to beat Neon Knight, or like if there is a strict time limit because it gets fucking insanely strict. Like you have to be basically fucking perfect towards the end of Drunken Robot Pornography. But,
no, if I'm recalling correctly, because remember it's still a very much an Annapurna game that has a story. Granted, it's very cringy anime at times, which is.
Hell yeah!
We described it
when we talked cringy anime.
When we talked about it, when I first played it on the podcast, I watched, and the guy that made it said like, this is literally an ode to like back in high school when I would go home and I would do those trials, like those like CS trials of like the aimbot things, and I would I would have anime playing in the background.
Yeah, bee hopping trials.
Yeah. Is he peeing again?
Yeah, that boy got
this man's bladder's
big balls.
Yeah, he is not there today. Did you see Eminem's got an album coming out, or a song coming out in a couple days?
Oh God, bless his heart.
You see what his album's called?
No.
The Death of Slim Shady.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I know if it
Also,
was a joke or
I
not.
love cringy anime.
Jesus.
I mean, I actually can't. If I showed you the back of
Yeah,
this
no.
box, it would get you demonetized and probably kicked off.
I
but I'll at least just show the front of the box.
thank you.
As on the back of the box, I can describe it. We have a woman with a gag getting her neck eaten.
Oh.
We have a person of undeterminate gender definitely getting a hand up them. We have someone most assuredly having a banquet of assholes.
Can you skip and get to the inappropriate parts, please?
I mean, there's definitely also someone being rope wired into oblivion. There is in fact also scissoring combined with toe eating.
You're getting there.
There's all kinds of fun things.
But yeah. Anyway, going back to this really quick, I think we should look into a time where if we figure out the schedule eventually for Games Gone By, that we all you're running through that collection and ranking them might be kind of fun.
Unironically, I think that would be good. I know
Granted-
that is something.
I think it'd be kind of we'd be really fucked like we'd have like a best to worst list, but it'd be like a best to like least best thing, you know, where it's like,
Yeah,
because I think all those games are gonna be solid. And
I don't think there'll be. I don't think there'll be a bad game among them. It'll just be
games that maybe
which
they didn't
ones we
resonate with
personally
you,
prefer.
right? Artful Escape, I played. That was awesome.
Basically, be least enjoyed to Edith Finch. Like that. That'll be the tier list. Is least enjoyed to Edith Finch.
Yeah, I already know I would prefer Kentucky Route Zero over Edith Finch, just because it was my kind of story, though.
That's fair, but I cried with Edith Finch, and I did not with Kentucky Route Zero. So
Yeah. I think just style of story. I like Edith Finch a lot. It didn't hit me as emotionally as everyone else did. Like, I respect it. It just didn't hit me on that like visceral level. But like I did have that moment with Kentucky Route Zero where I had that moment where I was like, fuck. Almost there.
That's
Almost
fair.
there. Because I remember no game ever got me there, but like to date, that was like this close to finally getting me.
oh man, maybe there's a game I still keep in my back pocket that I want to get to, but it's a fucking sit. So genuinely, one of these days we will do the House in Fata Morgana, but it's a fucking sit, and it's fucking rough.
I'm thinking, well, because I'm trying to figure out this gradient, because I want to get back to my games. Right, I'm itching to finally get back to games after this reading spree that I'm on. I'm like, maybe I just transition from like whatever next book or two I get through. Maybe I go through a visual novel. Like I was thinking about
Hell
doing that
yeah.
for visual novels.
Higurashi.
You want Higurashi or do you want Fata Morgana? Pick one, because you're not getting both.
Oh fuck!
It's like you're asking me for 200 hours. Like you're not getting both of those.
All right, here's where I'm torn. Is I almost want you to go through Higurashi, if only because I want you to have the same excitement for I am of him writing for Silent Hill as I am.
But seeing as that's like an unproven thing currently, I'd probably just do Fata Morgana.
I feel like
Fata
that's a good
Morgana is-
segue because didn't they announce like a Silent Hill Day announcement?
They did.
Yes, and then it got taken down hilariously. But yes, also shout outs on UK Amazon. You can now pre-order Silent Hill 2.
Nice. How are we feeling with that? Are we still feeling like
I'm just laughing at all the people. I see so many comments. I'm like, oh, that combat looks so trash. And I'm just like, yeah, that's Silent Hill 2. I don't know what you're complaining about.
dude? I don't know how the market's gonna go for this game. I'm like, the game itself.
I think the market has long left Silent Hill. I'm gonna be straight up. For what Silent Hill is meant to be, I don't think the market is there for it anymore.
Right. I think
Oh, he's taking the beanie off. He's
yeah,
serious
no,
now.
my ears are hurting. Um, I anyone that's like saying that has never played Silent Hill 2 and they don't understand what they're saying.
You mean the
Uh-oh.
game with the Comic Sans font?
Like anyone saying like the combat looks trash does not understand Silent Hill 2.
Newsflash: the combat always has been trash. I go back and check out our games gone by of Silent Hills 1 and 2. The combat's always been
But
bad,
that's
and
the
as a
point.
life,
Like you're not supposed to see. This is where I walk that line of like art and like the medium, right? Like you could tell me all day like, oh, movies supposed to be entertaining, but I'm like sometimes I don't want an entertaining movie. Sometimes I want something to fuck me up, right? Like
if a movie is supposed to be genuinely uncomfortable and it doesn't actually make you uncomfortable, did it succeed?
right. So like
See, I always just like I just like I don't know. For me, entertaining means multiple things. It can be like a
Yes.
negative or a positive thing. Does it get a rise out of me? Does it drive some kind of emotion? I
Mhm.
feel like
I've said that multiple times. The worst thing anything can be is mediocre.
yeah,
If you can make
for
me
sure.
feel something, make me feel angry. I will take something making me be pissed off that I wasted my time on it over something that couldn't even elicit a reaction out of me.
Dave, is that true?
Yeah, 100%. I remember leaving Fantastic Four,
No, we're not
the
talking
the
about that.
newest version. And I remember feeling nothing
David.
leaving the theater and being so angry that I felt nothing.
No, not that, David. You posted on your secret account just now. Is that true?
Oh, what did I post on my secret account?
I
in
love
air
your
quotes?
reaction to that. Your reaction to that line at pretty. Dave, is that true?
I came to. I mean, that's my secret cap. I come every day.
I like that.
so.
David, is that true? Yeah, it is. But I just
there is not a day
I
that goes by that gaming isn't an option.
like I feel like the whole point of Silent Hill 2 is to make you feel uncomfortable and like if you're having
Yes.
fun and like I can't wait to play Silent Hill 2 like in that kind of way, that's not the mission. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. You don't want to keep coming back to that. And so like the gameplay being like fighting against you is kind of the point.
Here's the thing. Unironically, Silent Hill Homecoming and Downpour have the best gameplay mechanics of
But they're the
Silent
worst
Hill.
ones.
Exactly. They're the worst fucking ones. Because you can actually get good at those games. And when you get good at Silent Hill Homecoming and Downpour, you can basically just use the knife and get through the entire game, thus removing all fear and tension in your fucking horror game, where you're meant to feel powerless.
So I'm gonna go off a quick tangent really quick. I did have one of my students mention me, hey, what's that parry game that you were showing us where if you miss something you die? And and then I was like, what? And they're like, and then like you have to do it in the dark as well. I'm like, oh, the ending of Drakengard 3. And so I was like, oh, that's what you guys are doing. And one of them who's just recently graduated just goes, yeah, I was gonna go down that rabbit hole, and then I tried Drakengard 1 and it's just weird. I was like, all right, let me go off a quick tangent really quick, and I just gave this whole spiel of like a few paragraphs. I'm like, look, do not start with Drakengard for the love of all is holy in this world. Do not start there. Start with Nier Replicant. Start with Nier Automata. One of those. Preferably start with Replicant. Do this, and then do this, and do that, and I can promise you it's amazing. This is why I got this tattoo. Here's like the fucking concert that was like sold out. It's incredible. Do that, and he was like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, that's just got bumped up further up the list. I'm like, whenever you're about to start, whenever you're like, I want to go on this journey, you tell me because it is a journey. It is not a mild. Oh, let me just dabble in this because I promise you it is going to be incredible. But like you need to know the whole thing. You need to know about Yoko Taro, this and that. And I was like, I'm a masochist in that like every day. It's still true to this day. I love Drakengard 1 more and more each day I think about it. Maybe it's because I'm just thinking about it, not actually playing it. But like, I'm like, every time I think about that game, I'm like, oh, that game was so fucking good. like just how fucking bad it was, how gross it
Yeah.
was, how grimy, terrible. I was like, the music sucks, the fucking visuals are fucking grimy, the story, like the whole vibe of the game is
Frame rate's
off.
atrocious.
Everyone fucking sucks in that game. Like it's unhinged. It's fucking demented, and I fucking love it because like you put yourself like, how did we go from Drakengard, the fucking like one of the most grimiest, grossest fucking games, to something like as gorgeous as like Nier Automata? You're like, I don't fucking know, but like that's
Also,
the fucking
shouts.
amazingness right there.
Nier Automata, second season of the anime confirmed. Shout outs.
I'm gonna start
Did you
binging
see
that.
about the
Actually
wine?
still watch the anime. At
I
some
heard
point
about the
still.
wine.
They make it listen to the
Yes.
soundtrack.
If I could find a place to import it for a reasonable price, I would.
You tell me if this need to do. But yeah, I need to go to the anime soon. Anyway, Silent Hill. Everyone, I just don't.
Yeah,
I've been worried about it since I've heard the remake, and I've been concerned as to how it's going to be received.
See, I kind of have some hope just because it's kind of a slight against Bloober Team. Like their other games, I think kind of fucking suck. So I'm hoping.
thought the media
they-
was fine. Like I didn't finish it, but I thought it was fine.
Everything
I
has
feel
good
like they have enough-
concepts.
I feel like they have enough jankiness in their application that if they can apply it correctly to Silent Hill 2, I think it could work.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I just don't know how the general like every time I hear about Silent Hill 2, everyone's like, "Oh, it's amazing," but I'm like, you probably either played it way back when and haven't gone back to it, or you're not quite understanding it because it's like it's the most art house style game, and the ones that are talking about it, I'm like, I don't think you're like of that. Not like trying to gatekeep that. I don't give a shit. I love it. If everyone was like on this level with Silent Hill 2, it'd be fucking amazing. But I just don't think they're there for that reason.
No, 100%. I feel like in this modern era where people just kind of watch playthroughs of things now, and that's just a very common, digestible way to get into things. I feel like so many people romanticize the idea of things without ever actually experiencing what those things were like firsthand.
Right.
Not to say that's inherently bad, but at the same time, again, to go back to the beginning statement of this, if your first reaction to seeing the gameplay trailer of the Silent Hill 2 remaster is to spend time talking about how horrible the combat looks, you didn't play the original. Just straight up, if you actually care about how jank the combat looks in the Silent Hill 2 remaster, you weren't an OG. Again, not to be gatekeepery to a degree, but like you didn't live that experience. You fucking watched someone that probably hyper optimized the game. Probably also was playing on the Xbox version, so that way they had real controls, like I did when we did our Games Gone By playthrough of it, because I was a Phil sign and I just wanted nice controls on Silent Hill 2.
I think it's
But
a little
again-
bit of people like not playing it and or having fond memories, because I feel like a lot of people's brains are now like mind poisoned from like modern Resident Evils and like remakes that they've done there. I feel like it's kind of like for the people that haven't played since like that first initial like touching of the game, they're kind of looking at it through modern tinted glasses of what they're seeing.
Yeah, dude.
It's almost like revisionist history.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like they're all gaslighting themselves.
If dude, people thought Callisto Protocol played like ass, Lord help them going to fucking Silent Hill 2, because I remember when I got that game early and people were asking like what I thought. I was like, oh, it's fine. Like I'm having a good time with it. And I remember it came out a few days later and I was like, holy shit, this game controls like shit. I'm like, it was fine. I'm just like,
Didn't
yeah,
it play
just
just like Dead Space?
no.
Oh,
It played interesting. It was like a very like a melee combat with the sticks that you had to use. It was unique, but like it didn't play like
interesting.
bad. But yeah, no, I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious how it's gonna get received, because I'm wanting to see how that works out.
I've been wanting to replay too, but now I don't know if I just want to wait for the remake, play the remake, and then go back, or how I want to do
When's
that.
the last time you
now.
played 2?
It's been it's been over 5 years, because it's one of those games that I try to replay within like 5 years every so often, because I feel like that's my refresh point where I kind of forget stuff so I can kind of play through it and be like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Either that or just watch one of those like 4-hour essays on it so you can get refreshed on pretty much everything.
For sure, for sure.
Just watch Stop Skeletons from Fighting doing his hour-and-a-half video of just the hospital sequence.
See, like I also played the games in a weird order too. Like I haven't played outside the original trilogy. I played like some of the PSP games. Weren't there PSP ones too?
Yeah.
I played
There were
a few
two
of
of them.
those. Yeah, and I don't think I finished those. But I played 3. I think I went back to 1 and then played 2.
My only one.
Oh, you played that in the worst.
Yeah, because like because 3 was on PS2, right? It was one of
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
big games for because I had a Nintendo 64 and then I got a PS2, and PS2 was like, oh, I'm a big kid now. I'm gonna play Silent Hill 3, dude.
Yeah, no. I was lucky in that I played them in the proper order that God intended, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everything else. I couldn't imagine playing Silent Hill 3 without the context of 1. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, very confusing.
Jesus Christ. Which shoutouts, one day that will be a Games Gone By game.
Yeah.
Now that I have at least gotten Adrian through his very misunderstood and unfortunately not prepared correctly experience of Silent Hill 1.
Mm-hmm. I forgot. You know what's funny? I forgot I played that game. I genuinely.
Yeah,
I just said rewind the podcast like a minute ago. I was like, 2's the only one I played. I forgot I played.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize you said that.
I just forgot I played 1. Holy shit!
Yeah, I just remember you being really upset because it wasn't anything like what you've.
No, it was just bad timing.
That too.
Because
but I do remember you lambasting. Good question. I don't remember. I know there's been a lot of shit around that time.
Yeah, that was around Alan Wake time.
Yes, you were in the middle of your long Let's Play of that.
Yeah.
That was half of it, and you did say that the other half was you were expecting a more personal psychological story, and then you realized that it's not at all.
Yeah, so here's the thing. That's a game I severely need to replay because I did not enjoy that like I should have. And I know, but I know my bias is halfway through because I was just thriving Alan Wake 2 at the moment. I was like, holy shit, this is one of the fucking best games I've ever played. Oh, let me play Silent Hill. Yeah, so that got the short end of the stick megafold on that one. So like already, just with the few games that we have posted so far, that needs to be a replayed one because that got the shaft on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially when we do inevitably go to Silent Hill 3, you need that context going into it.
Hey, fun
the
fact.
Only time in the Silent Hill series that you have to say that, really.
Fun fact, did you know that What Remains of Edith Finch was the first game Annapurna Interactive published?
Yes.
Oh.
That was a good start.
Nice. Okay, yeah, no, great start.
Started with their best fucking game.
Yeah, good foot forward.
David, what else is on our docket for news?
There were two news stories I wanted to highlight real quick. I mean, if we take time, we take time. But the first one I thought was sad but hilarious, which is IGN has basically bought up gaming media.
Yeah, so game media has been dead for a hot minute. I feel like there's not really a need. One of the video ideas I had was doing kind of I wrote this down. I wrote a bunch of video ideas down about a year and a half ago of like, here's the videos if I could make, I would make. And I wrote down why modern games media / game reviews are just irrelevant. And it kind of shows there because we don't need an IGN anymore. And I think that big production style thing is just kind of gone wayside with that. I don't think we need like.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because even like the big industry people that I do follow, I don't follow them because of the company they work for. I follow them because of like them and their personality, like outside of the company. Like a big one I follow, Gene Park. I think he does Washington Post. He does like their gaming for them, or Washington Journal, one of them, one of the big ones. It's like, yeah, I engage with his content, I engage with like his reporting that he does, his reviews, but I don't give a fuck about the company that he works for.
It's you wonder when, or I am sure it's probably because everyone's a little scared, which is fair, right? But like they have to know they're like, if I were to get like laid off or something, I could just go and do this myself and I'd be just fine. Um, because I don't, it's been a long time since I've like actively thought as IGN as an entity, that
Yeah.
I would turn to. I used to be big on IGN way back in the day. I would always try to kind of like strive because that was back when we would do reviews and stuff like that. I was always hoping I'd like snag some sort of opportunity there. Um, I there was a couple of things I cracked like a pinky toenail in there once where I was kind of in communications with their guides editor. That was when I made the Limbo one. I was gonna do some other one with like Flock, because did I ever tell you that, David? When I made that Limbo walkthrough, they actually contacted me,
Really?
and asked if they could put that on the website. I was like, sure. So before, whenever I mean they've refined it, right, obviously since then, but like way back when, for like a year or two, when you would look up the Limbo walkthrough stuff on IGN, you would find my video on there. And I
Good
think I even had
shit,
like
man.
I even had like a like they had the line with my name on it, which was always cool. Um, and I would talk to the guys that are kind of like they would line up some stuff that I was like almost gonna do, but I just guides is like, no offense to that, like cool if you're in that, but that did not jive with the kind of undiagnosed ADHD that I had, which is I do not want to comb through a game 150% to find ways to do this. Like that is
No,
not something I'm interested in. So like that would be like I kind of took it on the thing where I'm like, I don't want to invest my time into that and either get pigeonholed or feel weird about, like feel desperate, like I'm desperately trying to leave that position. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I did guides for a while on YouTube, and it's soul crushing because it's literally just you spending so many hours on something that someone is probably realistically just skimming for like 15 seconds for one part they're stuck on, and then they just move on with their day, and there's no further recognition of everything else.
Yeah, and I don't mind doing some every once in a while. Like I used on my channel, there was like I had some achievement guides, some of that, but I just don't find interest in wanting to just do that to one game at any point at random. Like not even one that I could pick up. It's like do this with this game, and I'm like, I don't want to though. So yeah, I that kind of fell through, but there was definitely like there was an alternate route where I started doing guides, because if you like ever go through like some of the alumni at IGN, a lot of them do start at guides and kind of work their way. That's like guides kind of like the bottom of the totem pole, not in a bad way, because some people just like totally chill with like, I like guides, and it's not like a lesser paid job, but it is a job that you either
It's the entry level. It's
you
the
either
customer
like to do
service.
and you're good with it, or it's like you get your foot in the door and then you're like, oh, but I'm also good at doing this stuff, so surely you want me doing that, right? Um, so yeah, I contemplated it. I just felt weird about doing that. That was around like 2011. I want to say that almost happened, which was a pretty solid time in IGN era, where if I was able to get anywhere on there, that might have worked. Uh, um, and then seeing as how we were just like kind of pumping out content at a pretty decent level, I feel like there was definitely a time and place where I was able to do that. But I don't know. When you look at hindsight, I don't think I would have enjoyed that route versus where I'm at now. Where it's like I don't see myself wanting to live in San Francisco and pay to live in a closet, pay $2,000 to live in a closet for someone, right? Like paying those astronomical fees for just living there. I can do like LA. I don't think I can do San Francisco with how much it just costs to be up there. I'm like, no, I'm very certainly okay. I think that's also a major hindrance with not only IGN, but a lot of game studios and production studios. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys are losing money because you guys are living in LA. I think IGN, if they just relocated to like the Midwest somewhere, they would probably be killing it again, because it's like, you guys don't need to be up. You guys don't need to be doing press events that much. A lot of it could be virtual. If you need to fly someone out there, it's going to be cheaper by just how much money you're just saving it in office space. So it's like at some point everyone's got to realize, get the fuck out of not only just
Well,
NorCal, but like even California. Just get out of there and go make money other places.
I
it's
just don't
funny.
see anything about that job that requires an office.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I remember back when used to listen to Comedy Button regularly. I remember they brought on a guest that actually also was a member of IGN, who actually, if I remember correctly, was from Maine. And they were talking about how they were the first like remote hire for the company, and this was in like 2019, 2018, somewhere around there, like right before the pandemic, essentially. And it's just like, yeah, no, that never needed to be an in-office job. And so that's honestly so many jobs that don't fucking need to be in office. But
I don't know. I'm of both minds because I do think that they had more personality and camaraderie being in that person. And you kind of need to have that when you were doing a personality style thing driven enough by like IGN, right? Because they were doing shows and stuff like that. You got to kind of have that. You can't just all that virtual kind of loses a lot of its luster, right? Like imagine if we're doing like a podcast in person would work out. It's always gonna work out better than a virtual podcast, right? Like that kind of production is gonna work better in person. So I mean, I do see the reason for an office space, but an office space specifically in San Francisco, no. There used to be like the argument used to be like, well, all the developers and publishers were there, so you can just like walk down to Ubisoft and like do all that stuff there. Fuck that. You don't need to anymore. Like that's fine.
everyone's got Skype or Discord. Just hop on.
But anyway, I do you guys see IGN lasting in a while, or do you think this is do you see it, is it always going to exist, or do you see this something happening?
Oh yeah, no, I see it always existing. I think it's one of those things they can just keep cost cutting until it's like the bare minimum. It's still gonna be like one of those brands. Once it hits bottom dollar, watch like Microsoft or someone will eat it up.
So that's the funny thing is that like I would have thought that like Digital Foundry would have always survived, but now that they are part of this acquisition into IGN, I don't know, because here's the thing. I think that we thought E3 was going to be forever. At least I certainly thought E3 was just that's just an industry standard. We're always going to have E3, but we don't need it. And realistically, other than at this point being a content farm, what do we need IGN for?
Right.
I think it's just a matter of time until eventually, like, an actual corporation buys IGN and be like, well, we need something that fits into our portfolio. Here's something, buys IGN, and then fast forward 3 years. That was a mistake. Fire everyone.
Yep. Erase it. Delete.
Exactly. Do what AOL did to WCW. Fuck Ted Turner.
Yeah. Any what's next on our docket?
The other story I had was fascinating. So a developer, I can't remember if he actually was originally from Sony or not, Square Enix or not, but had gone ahead and actually did like a massive Twitter thread giving some interesting context and highlights to the perceived failures of what Square Enix has been experiencing. And I don't know if you had a chance to kind of read through the highlights at least or not. But the TLDR is this guy goes through and contextualizes a lot of what Square Enix means when they say that they've had a lot of failures. We joked about this on the podcast. They've sold 7 million games, and they said that this game was not meeting expectations. They need to lower their expectations because clearly it's a fucking insane. But this guy kind of contextualizes it, and the way they kind of explain it is that picture you're a publicly traded company where you have a legal obligation to your shareholders to expect a certain return on investment. You say, all right, we're gonna spend 5 years spending $100 million developing this game, and then 5 years and $100 million over that 5 years, you release your game, and it sells, we'll say, 3 million copies. So you've probably sold the equivalent of like $250 million, or we'll say that's your net. So after taxes and what you have to pay into to your partners for sales and everything, your net profit is 250 million. So you have earned a profit of $150 million over a 5-year span of what you could have put investing that money into like a Fortune 500 company is a slap in the face. And that's what this kind of person was going through and kind of explaining from Sony's perspective, or Square Enix's perspective, of them spending so much money and development time on these games that, yeah, we're seeing them sell multi-million-dollar copies, but they're not hitting the expectations because to their shareholders, what did they invest in? What was the point of them investing this money? And it comes to what we've kind of talked about before of like, fucking games need to stop having this stupid budget. There's no fucking reason. I looked at the comment threads, and I saw a comment that couldn't help but fucking have me wilding on. Because it loses, the whole comment ignores the context. Someone was like, oh, but Square, back when they were Squaresoft, always chase high graphics and high performance. Their games back on the Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 pushed and revolutionized what those consoles were ahead of. Yeah, during those times, a development time was a fucking year. Maybe 2 if you had a massive project. We're not talking about the 5+ years now, where you're spending so much time just building wireframes for shit, where you're literally paying for like 10+ people whose sole job is to put lighting into your game. That is all they do. They spend their 9 to 5 putting lights into your cutscenes. That is their job, and you have like 10 people doing that. When we've reached the point that we have with modern gaming, and I have said this a lot, I truly don't feel like we need a next-gen console for at least another 5, maybe even 7 years. We're not pushing our current-gen hardware to their absolute limits because we can't afford to. We spend so much time in development and so much resources just trying to make the biggest thing we can that we still haven't even begun to optimize shit. You remember when, like, the PlayStation 1 was at the end of its life, and maybe less so for Adrian, but maybe for you, Kels. But the PlayStation 1, when it was at the end of its lifespan, was pushing out PS2 quality games.
Mm-hmm.
It was phenomenal what people were getting out of the PlayStation 1 hardware at the end of that console's lifespan. And it's because people had time. People were able to go ahead and be like, yes, we're going to have a long development cycle. But again, that was like a year and a half, maybe 2. And at that point, when you had a console's lifespan, which, yeah, back then was 4 to 5 years or so, that was still a situation where, you churned things out in like a few months to a year time span. So you had, if you were just even a small studio, a release a year. What company's putting out a release a year that's a small company? Even the large companies, even Square now, especially with, all the closures they just had. But I mean, like, truly, how many fucking games, brand new, fresh IPs, are they putting out a year?
Well, they said,
how many of those are remakes?
well, they said, what was it, like a couple years ago, that if you decide to make a AAA game currently right now, won't be out for like the whole console cycle. Like, you're waiting for the next one if you start a cycle right then, which is egregious.
Yeah, there's no need for it. Like, straight up, I'm gonna, maybe it's a controversial opinion, but there's no fucking need for that. Like, I remember when they first announced Elder Scrolls 6, and they're like, yeah, don't fucking hold your breath for this game. Like, be happy that we're working on it, but like also understand it's probably going to be like 6 to 7 years before you see this game again.
So, I'm just genuinely kind of curious as to where things are gonna go because I don't, dude. Developers just not, or not developers, publishers, or even the higher ups there. Like, read the room. Like, it's gonna be a while now, but like, hopefully things like Power World or Helldivers kind of put in people's heads like, oh, smaller, cheaper releases will make more money than your current game right now that cost a lot more. Go ahead, David.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's because the guy that posted this also did talk about that because they're reading the room on the opposite end of the spectrum. Because one of the things that this guy brings up is the fact that, okay, so you go ahead and you release, your $100 million budget game that took you 5 years to develop. Meanwhile, here's Genshin Impact and Fortnite. That's what you're competing against. Here's all these freemium games.
They're not. See, that's the issue. They're not.
No, but that is how they view it.
Yeah, I know.
That is at a corporate level how they view it.
Because they lump all video games together, and they're not like there's different markets in that. Your Genshin Impact and Fortnite players are not like, oh, I fucking can't wait for fucking Final Fantasy Rebirth. Ooh, fuck yeah. It's like, no, those are not your market. Like, your market, unfortunately, if you want to dedicate and try for that, you got to like hope to high heavens you can achieve that. But you are not gaining. You got to like pick away at their market because the problem is like for you to get a market as big as that, they have to lose that market. Like they have to fumble on their own and drop the ball and like, oh, you lost your players. Now they're kind of wondering what to play. It's like a right place, right time. Okay, cool. You made this game. Fortnite's been falling off. They're gonna go to here now, right? Like that's the only way you're getting on there. But you're not gonna be able to like make this game you can't pull people from there. You can only hope that they drop them and you pick them up. That's the only way you're making it in there. If you want to be on that level. If you want to make something new-ish and something that's kind of like, because we have been lacking in the cooperative shooter market, then you happen to fit in and you're like, okay, cool. Power, like I feel like Power World kind of bled into Helldivers, right? Like people were playing that. Oh, we had our group together. Okay, cool. Oh, Helldivers is out next month. Let's try that. Cool. That happened to work. That was like perfect timing on that end, right? Because I do feel like a lot of people that were playing Power World just jumped into Helldivers, and now they're staying on Helldivers until Sony cannibalizes their own fucking game because they're idiots doing that, But like, it's so wild that they just can't. That's like putting out a Marvel movie and wondering why every single Marvel movie person did not go watch the latest A24 film. It's like because they're just different. I know, but the dummies up top just don't understand that. Like you have.
But that's the thing is like niche. That's the wild thing though, and this is where the shit part of corporate America comes in. Is to them they're not the dummies, because they're again. That's why the person kind of made the point of like comparing it to like investing in the Fortune 500. When you are a shareholder, you're expecting you have a legal obligation from the company you are investing in to give you a certain return on investment. So if you're going ahead and you're throwing in, money for a company to go ahead and then spend 5 years to make a game that only makes maybe like 150-ish% profit versus this game that's completely free making pure profit because it's just generational, like a Minecraft or a Fortnite or a Genshin Impact. You as the person that's putting money into this company is going, why aren't you doing that?
Money. Then go invest in that fucking company, you fucking idiot.
Like, but that's the point is they but then Square Enix, that's the whole conundrum is then Square Enix wouldn't exist. And that's why they had to go ahead and double into the whole NFT bullshit and all the other heinous blockchain shit. And that's what unfortunately these massive, unless you're basically fucking Nintendo, who can basically finance their own country.
Or Steam, who could just do whatever the fuck they want whenever.
Yeah, or unless you're Lord Gaben until the man fucking passes. Truly, fucking, I'm gonna knock on this butcher block fucking wood of a computer desk I have here. The day that Linus Torvald and Gabe Newell die are gonna be the saddest fucking days. Because everything they have built will basically be destroyed after they're gone.
Yeah, you know that shit's gonna go on sale afterwards.
Truly, unless either of them have successors that understand what they were building, I fear for
the next person will be like, "How can I make more money? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that?" Well, because you were making money because you weren't doing that, dude. It is what it is.
I gotta pee real quick.
I know you do.
But as to that rumor of Microsoft putting $16 billion into potentially trying to buy Steam.
They're not gonna do it. I think that was already debunked. I see the Chili Peppers next week.
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Knocking out off the bucket list. Costs way too much fucking money, but it was like $100 for a lawn ticket. Incredible.
Yeah. What can you do? It'll be good vibes at least.
Did you see that how much EDC Vegas was selling their stuff for?
Oof, no, how much?
Holy shit! Hold on. EDC Vegas prices. What was it? It was like. Oh, come on. Where we at? There we go. Where's this? Come on. Excuse me. What the fuck? Okay, does this have it? I saw a list on it from Moist. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. All right. You're at EDC Las Vegas 2024. You are in need of water. How much do you think you're spending for a 6-pack of water? Smart water. Remember, you're drinking smart water.
I seen something about this. Wasn't it like $90 or something like crazy like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's insane.
All right, you know what? All right, whatever. You know what? You're chilling with your friends. It's a good time, but you don't need any of the fancy stuff, right? So,
right,
let's get a
of course.
6-pack of Bud Light. How much do you think you're spending on that?
I'm gonna aim high for a 6-pack, like $40, $45.
That's too low. Come on.
Of course.
You're getting Bud Light, dude. Like, stop underselling it. What do you think you're paying?
The premium beers. Okay. 75.
No, why do you keep thinking you're paying you're paying chump change for
Yeah.
this? How much?
Yeah,
$100?
3 figures. Yeah.
No, why
100
are we
bucks,
still aiming low?
100.
This is Bud
What
Light.
It's not even the champagne of beers. It can't be Miller High Life. Come on.
No, it's Bud. You haven't given me a Bud Light. We're $100. No, that's still too low.
175.
$140 for a 6-pack of Bud Light.
Holy shit! That's like how much it costs in Australia.
Let me get David to play this game. Is he just lift the table out of the way?
Yeah, he's Hulk through it.
Oh shit! Where did I go? It's fine.
All right, Dave. We're gonna play a small little game before we segue to our next thing. Have you heard this thing about? You know what EDC Las Vegas is, right?
No.
All right. It's like electronic dance giant festival, right? Or there's ones in Vegas. They cost,
GDR for people with money.
yeah. Yeah, you're on the right path for that. We're gonna talk about in a second. They one of the menus for their drink list came out. I want to play a game of like if you can guess how much money some of the stuff costs here. All right.
All right.
So you and your friends have spent hundreds of dollars on these tickets. You're out there, you're having a good time, but it's Las Vegas. It's May. You guys are thirsty, so all right. Cool. They're selling a 6-pack of Smart Water, David. How much do you think you're paying for that?
I mean, considering I remember the last time we went to Vegas, I paid fucking $7 in a vending machine for a fucking Gatorade.
And that wasn't during a
I'm gonna guess-
festival.
I am gonna guess for what would you say, a 6-pack?
6-pack of Smart Water. How much you paying for that, David?
I'm gonna guess like $27.
Oh, what the fuck do you want? What are you drinking? This like piss? No, it's Smart Water, David. Please give me an actual price.
Oh, like actual branded
A
Smart
6-pack.
Water?
A 6-pack, David.
I'm gonna say $54.
Why are you lowballing me still? Can you give me an actual price of what you
Jesus
think this is
Christ,
gonna be?
Really? All right, $100.
$90 for a 6-pack of Smart Water.
Fucking suck my dick. You gotta be. What absolute fucking camel wrangler are
All right,
you going ahead?
All right, you know what? You know what? You and your friends get there and you decide, you know what? We don't need water, but you know what sounds great? A 6-pack of Bud Light. David,
Oh Jesus Christ!
how much do you think a 6-pack of Bud Light is?
It should be fucking free because it's basically water. Fucking A for the not okay. So you're paying for hyperinflated liquor license. You're paying for the branding of the Bud Light. I'm gonna guess $225.
Oh, okay, you didn't go crazy low like Kels did. $140 for a 6-pack of Bud Light.
Shit, I
100
went way over.
$140 for a 6-pack of Heineken. But you know what? You guys are feeling a little fun. So you guys grab some Jack Daniels. How much you guys think some Jack Daniels is gonna cost you?
Fucking oh.
You guys are
Okay, are
you
we
guys are
talking
both
about
playing
just
on
a
this one.
shot or
Yeah, I think a bottle of Jack Daniels.
a bottle?
A bottle of Jack Daniels. You know the good stuff. So how much you paying for that?
Okay, we're talking like top shelf Jack Daniels.
I would fucking hope so.
Well, I mean, because I mean, granted, I know little about whiskey because really the only whiskey I like is Suntory. But I've seen Jack Daniels go from like 20 a bottle to like 70 a bottle. So I'm gonna guess. Let's presume they're going. They're trying to maximize profits, but they know that if you're ordering Jack Daniels, you're gonna expect a certain amount. So maybe they're going mid-range for it, but still trying to maximize profit. Oh, fuck. See, I'm also skewed because
Kels?
I really like cognac, and cognac can get fucking expensive.
I can't hear you, Kelsey.
Fucking
What was
hell.
your? You're muted.
So it's a bottle, right?
A
And
bottle.
bottle's what we're.
Bottle of Jack.
I don't know. I want to say it's gonna be something crazy, like 125, 150 for just like a bottle.
I mean, you say that, and I'm like, oh, you're just getting into like a nice fucking Hennessy. So I mean, you're at the entry level of a.
Oh,
nice
we got Hennessy XO on here, so that's next.
Oh, fucking XO, Jesus Christ! All right, that's oh man, I fucking. Okay, now I want Hennessy.
We're talking about a bottle of Jack Daniels before we get there, though.
I mean, considering what the fucking water is, I'll go back to what I was originally saying, and I'll say 225.
And Kelsey said what?
I'm gonna go 145.
You guys are
final
way
answer.
too fucking low.
Oh, God damn.
Okay, real quick, let me add an adjusted. I'm gonna say 370. Fuck my ass! You're kidding. Fucking
That
A.
bottle better vibrate. God damn it.
Like legitimately, that bottle better double as a goddamn fleshlight.
We're not at hey, if it
520.
makes you feel better, we're not at 4 digits yet.
I mean, I'm gonna predict that fucking Hennessy's gonna go to 4 digits. 520. Let's say 520 maybe.
Kels?
So I'm trying to remember what David's last one was.
My
Three.
last
You
one
went-
prior to that was 370, and he still said higher.
Okay, I'm gonna say 475. Oh my god.
Then both of those still? Fucking hell.
I'll give you one last guess.
700
750.
$875.
Oh my
for
god.
fucking Jack. Even the high, unless you're getting into like the absurd, like we've aged this for 20 years bullshit.
If it makes you feel better, Jameson's $925.
Doesn't make me feel better at all.
All right.
'Cause
You know
they're all
what though?
trash.
That's
Stories again. The only
me and the
difference-
homies, 875 and Jack Daniels, whatever. We want to get into some Hennessy XO.
Fucking Christ. For context, at least around here, I can get a bottle of Hennessy XO for like 150.
No,
That's a treat.
this is the good
but-
stuff, David. At EDC
That is
Las
the good stuff.
Vegas
I do love me a
2020
fucking Hennessy XO.
EDC Las Vegas 2024 Hennessy XO. You pay some money, David. Take some guesses.
$2,000.
Kels?
He went $2,000. I'm gonna say 1,500. Oh my god. $5,000.
You're not, no. David's not far, I'll say that.
Okay. $2,500.
$2,501. Price is right, cool.
You guys both lost $2,295.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see, what else do we got on here?
You could literally buy like 12 cases of Hennessy XO at your goddamn local fucking alcohol vendor.
Yep.
All right. You know what though? All right, we're a little bit too there. We just want to get white girl wasted. Let's get some Grey Goose.
Ugh.
How many,
If you're gonna drink fucking vodka, at least drink Absolute. Goddamn.
And unfortunately, no Absolute on this list. We got Belvedere Magnum if you want that. I don't know what that is.
Sounds like
Fucking
a
white
condom.
people.
Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Take one guess. I'm gonna give you the number after that. Bottle of Grey Goose.
$830.
Kels.
I'm gonna go 750.
$9.75.
For a $20 bottle of vodka. Eat my fucking ass.
Ooh.
Let's see. Dom. I'm gonna get that name wrong.
Dom Perignon.
Yeah, Dom Perignon Brut.
Oh, fuck.
10 bottles of 750 milliliters of Dom Perignon Brut. How much do you think that is,
10 grand.
Kels?
For 10 bottles. Yeah, I'm gonna say like eight grand. Oh my god.
David thought he was overshooting there too.
No, I thought I
No,
was
he said
about
that-
on point.
Yeah.
Because it's about $1,000 a bottle. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds all right.
14,750.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
hell. You could have someone killed for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hire a hit out on your wife for that much money.
The most expensive thing on here is one Methuselah 6 liters of Dom Perignon Brut and one Methuselah 6 liters of Dom Perignon Rosé. How much do you think the most expensive thing is on this list? And it's absurd. Like, you got to be absurd. Like, it is like
I'm gonna say $85,000.
Mark Cuban money. $85,000,
Oh.
David.
Okay, Mark
You're
Cuban
not
money,
you're
I'm
not
gonna say-
oh, wait, you're not far off that ballpark.
Okay.
What do they consider their top shelf item? I need to know that for a guess.
This is the highest price thing on there.
What is?
This combo.
Oh, that combo. Okay. I thought you were just listing more things ahead.
Kel said 85,000. I told him he's not that far off of that ballpark there.
Say 90,000 then.
$94,000.
Nice.
It's a bargain.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Buy a
Actually,
house.
funny enough, at that point, I should probably say Kel's do a lot of pricing stuff. Ironically, in this conversation, I'm probably not going to Evo, but I respect the
dude.
game.
Do your thing.
Yeah. And speaking of crazy Vegas prices and all that stuff, I want to go. Let's try to make it. We'll try to make it next year if we can. Better price on
sure.
that one.
Maybe next year I'll be able to go too.
Yeah, we'll make that a whole meetup. But yeah, everything got pricey, and then just thinking about this, just yeah. Anyway, that's EDC Las Vegas 2024. I know a
That's
few friends that went
disgusting.
there, but I've always wanted to go to like one of those festivals, but it's so fucking
Yeah.
expensive. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
That's where you just ass smuggle things like it's fucking prison. Like truly, you pick someone that has just the fattest fucking ass, and you're like, all right,
well,
you're just
the,
a pack mule.
the thing about a lot of those festivals is it's just a bunch of it's the majority is like a bunch of really rich kids and they're high off their minds,
Yep.
so that's why you could charge whatever the fuck you want with that. I promise you, they made a killing off this.
That's I'm so disgusted with that. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They basically earn what a small nation has in like yearly revenue.
For sure.
Yeah, right. Like that. Someone this last like weekend spent almost double my salary on just 2 bottles of alcohol. And here I am, trying to teach the goddamn youth of the nation.
An honest day's work.
Yeah, I'm working 2 years of my life to afford. Oh yeah, sans tax to afford 2 of those bottles. Imagine. Anyway,
I was part of that upper elite for a shining brief moment. I understand, but
yeah, that's when go back to those episodes of Blue Review where David had like a fucking.
yeah, I was
mountain
just
of-
pulling out like a grand plus.
Hey,
of fucking
I
shit
got
every
bored
goddamn
this week, so I bought a fucking. I bought the most expensive game on this.
I got a completed box Zebo for like 300 because fuck it, we made a joke about it on one episode, so I just decided why not.
Best investment you.
It was
could
like
have
a
made.
game I just spent like $450 on because it
How much
sounded
are
like
those
a
worth
good
now?
idea at the time.
Let's see, Zebo. Let's look at the most recent sold.
For completed box.
Let's see, sold items. Zebo console. Ooh, it's been a while because I have to scroll. ZEEBO, right?
Yeah, ZEEBO.
Oh fuck, it's been a while, I guess, because there's just it's a 0 results for Zebo console.
Yeah, so it's not sold often. And interestingly, there is a trend in the Zebo community for getting Zebos modded because some people have been actually. Basically, you know how you can mod some Xbox 360 consoles with the J tagging method to get access to the hard drive and put whatever you want in there? That
Sure.
same method is actually being used on Zebos right now. And are being used to mod Zebos.
Was it a red
I really
box?
want to do that. Let me go check.
That was a white box. Um. Yeah, I think.
Keep in mind, mine is the Mexican one. It's a Brazilian one. So it's this box.
It looks like these boxes, they don't look any different from these ones. It depends. I guess it goes from anywhere from like 600 to 700 bucks that's on auction for right now.
Fucking hell. I can make a tiny little profit off my Zebo.
No, you're not. You're keeping
Never would
forever.
sell it,
Yeah,
but
there you go.
yeah, but
Uh,
I mean, truly, if I ever was that desperate, the first thing that's going is my minty copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga.
fair.
So it's like a grand and a half some days.
Hey, Kels, have you loaded up Multiverse yet, or you just installed it?
I just installed it, haven't kicked it back up since they ended the beta.
Okay, because I gotta download it. I want to see.
It's a smaller download. It's like 11 gigs or something like that.
All right, because I want to see. I'm seeing some very mixed things on. There's apparently no local couch co-op, which is interesting.
Very
Wait,
interesting.
really?
Yeah.
What's the point?
I feel like that wasn't there during the beta too,
It
or
wasn't.
I could be wrong.
Everyone's saying it feels slower.
It looks slower. I noticed that in videos. Like I thought like people were like doing like a breakdown or something until I realized that that wasn't the case.
Let's see.
And it's weird, like not all of it looks slower. It's like certain like falling animations kind of look like they're at like half speed, like they're like in a visual. It looks visibly like in
they're
a slow
floatier?
mo. Yeah,
I'm just curious if the purchases carried over. I'm sure they did, but
I'm pretty sure they did.
if not, then I'm already not gonna play it because that upset me.
And I know the stuff that you earn for leveling your character, you retain the stuff that you earn, but they do reset the level to all your characters, but it's like new stuff that you earn whenever you level them.
Interesting.
So I know they kept a whole lot that you earned and that you picked up from the beta, but they also reset a whole lot and added different stuff to replace it.
Hmm. Oh,
I know if you bought the Founders Pack too, that that transfers.
oh, nice. I don't know if this is true or not, but it says Ohio billionaire plans to take a $20 million sub to the Titanic site to prove the industry safer after the Ocean Gate implosion last year.
Yeah, Mother Nature has like the best opportunity to do the funniest shit ever. You're like, oh yeah.
I want to see Doom again. That's wild.
This time we're sending back evidence.
Some rich people just don't learn. It's crazy.
No.
Let's see. David, any other stories?
I have one last one. It's not necessarily game specific. It's more just tech specific. Shout outs to Microsoft releasing or preparing to release one of the most heinous fucking things we have seen in a long fucking time.
Call of Duty Black Ops
in the-
6.
Yes, was Saddam Hussein. No,
That was such a crazy commercial. Like, I can't believe they fucking did that shit.
I mean, I can because it's Call of Duty. They're just trying to get you engaged.
We're
and just trying
also-
to get money.
We're also farther away from it than we realize now. So, like, kids that are legally able to play that game right now, that means nothing to
I mean,
them.
think of like when Wolfenstein 3D came out. That was only like a 40-year difference.
Yeah. So we're getting at that point now where yeah, you can do it, I guess, and just kids are like, oh, that's interesting, I guess, and they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, heinous.
Yeah. So more heinous than the fucking soulless profiteering off of Saddam Hussein's corpse. Because we know that the Call of Duty is not going to say anything profound or do anything interesting. It's just going to
Right.
be, look, we found the new Hitler. Here's Saddam Hussein because y'all are still tired of World War II stuff. So here you go. They've introduced a new feature called the Recall. Now I don't know if you two have looked into this feature at all. Have you?
Mm-mm.
All right. So as you two don't work in the tech field and don't have to deal with cybersecurity like I do, Recall is a fascinating AI feature that Microsoft is working on rolling out.
Okay. Mhm.
It perpetually just takes screenshots of everything you're doing. So that way you can just search your computer for what you've been doing. And it'll pull up screenshots on what you've been doing lately. Microsoft has confirmed that there will be nothing built into it to protect sensitive information. So if you're going ahead and you're typing in a password on a website or in a program, it's just gonna screenshot what your password is. If you're putting in bank information or credit card information, it's just gonna screenshot that information. It's
You got
Ooh,
Microsoft stopped him. Hey, David, shut the fuck up.
Microsoft got the
David, shut up.
Microsoft is good for me.
They got that Boeing assassin.
Oh, but yeah, shout out to another fucking dead Boeing whistleblower. I think we've gone 0 weeks in the past like 2 months without one, but look at this point, Boeing has more suicides than the Clinton family. But
And the
anyways,
Kennedys.
yeah, and the Kennedys. Which real quick, not to go on like a really weird tangent, but shout outs to apparently it was originally a Netflix series called The Dairy Girls. Fucking hilarious. I had a lot of fun with it. But by far one of the wildest, weird recurring jokes that ultimately ended into a series punchline. I do highly recommend that series. It's like the best way I can explain the series without spoiling anything is it's like late series Bob's Burgers, where it's equal parts like hysterical, but then like halfway through they just fucking punch you right in the throat. And they're like, by the way, this is still about like the real shit that was going on in Ireland in the 90s with the height of IRA terrorism. So as much as you're having a funny haha show about kids in high school and adjusting to life, here's fucking terrorism right in your goddamn throat. Do recommend it. It's only 3 seasons, like 6 episodes per season. Really good fucking time. I highly enjoyed it. But the Clintons are a recurring joke in that series because, again, it's set in the 90s. But anyways, off suicide tangents here. So Microsoft's recall, they've already confirmed that it's just once it comes out, and this will apply to all Windows 11 machines, and they've murmured the idea of backporting it to Windows 10. It is just always going to be screenshotting your computer. Everything you do will have like every 5 to 10 seconds a screenshot.
So
they're going to do nothing. They're going to do nothing to make sure that sensitive information is filtered or censored or whatever. Security researchers have said, "Hey, listen, I got a fucking problem with that. Bank information is just going to be taken willy-nilly. Passwords are going to be taken willy-nilly. Can you just fucking not do this feature?" To which Microsoft has said, "No, it's fine. All the information's stored locally. What problem is that? We're not going to host it on our servers." To which every security researcher is saying, "Yeah, but like, you're still putting customer information in clear text. There's nothing encrypting or obscuring this information. You know, Bojob Horseman over there is going ahead and he's trying to be responsible and using a password manager. But you are just outright screenshotting all his fucking passwords that he has in his password manager. So a threat actor is going to go ahead, hop onto this computer, and they don't need to get into the password manager. They're just going to go to the screenshot history and fucking see that." To which Microsoft says, "I mean, people can turn the feature off." And then every security researcher is like, "Yeah, but average layman, grandma at the
Do
computer."
it the opposite. You can turn it on. Cool. And then whatever.
Yeah.
I guess if someone wants it,
That
fine.
is literally every security researcher's thought process here. Is like, fucking grandma's at the computer. When grandma is trying to get to the internet, she thinks it's Google. You know, where's the Google? How do I get to my Google? She's not gonna
I
fucking
love old
know
people
about
text when they're
turning-
like, "How do I delete this?" It's like something else. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go to bed.
and also me as a sysadmin, I'm like, all right, what is the level of control I'm gonna have at a domain level to go ahead and use fucking group policy to turn all this shit off? And of course, I only have one computer in my fucking house that runs Windows, and it's my gaming rig. because I fucking have no choice. Like 90% of games I can get to run in fucking Linux, but then there's still like the 10% that I just can't get to work in Linux. So fuck it. I have a pro version, a business edition version of Windows I legally acquired that runs on my fucking desktop. So that way, explicitly, I can have group policy so I can fucking turn shit off. And that's what a lot of people are asking. Like, okay, but what is a level that we are going to be able to control and at least turn it off on it at the business level? And even Microsoft has been kind of dodgy on it. Of like, I mean, yeah, you could turn it off. There's like some parts of telemetry we still probably want to keep on, which doesn't bode well. I'm so fucking sick of
I just hope you hope.
hellscape.
I wish he did like that and just vomited everywhere.
I wish I did too, honestly. Unironically, I wish I had vomited at that moment. Because that's how I feel about all this. I am disgusted with how much companies already try to basically turn people into products. And now Microsoft is who's already done so much to shitify the operating system with Cortana, with fucking Copilot, with all the fucking sales and telemetry shit. A fresh install of Windows 11 is a fucking clown world nightmare. I had to set this up for my meme recently, where I went ahead, I got her set up with a fresh install of Windows 11. There's fucking built-in apps for goddamn LinkedIn, built-in apps for fucking Netflix and Hulu, Facebook, all of this other shit, and it's just like that's just there to harvest my data. That's all that is there for. It's not for the convenience of the consumer, because all these are web wrappers. It's not, you don't even have the audacity to at least give me an actual program anymore. This is a fucking Edge GUI wrapper around these fucking links that you're throwing into the start menu, confusing my how old am I? I'm fucking
74.
what year is it? I'm 33 now because it's 2024.
Jesus.
So my 73-year-old grandmother is fucking confused. I'm like, I'm retired. Why is LinkedIn here? And I have to be like, shut up, meme. You don't know why that's there. It's fine. Microsoft hates you. Because I made the mistake of showing her what an operating system looks like. And with her last computer, I put Linux on there. She had Pop OS. It was wonderful. And then that computer died because it was fucking 10 years old. And she had to buy a new one. So I showed her a good mini PC, got her a B-Link. They're wonderful. I highly recommend anyone that wants just something that functions, be it like an intro home lab computer or just like a good, this is like the media center PC for my TV. B-Links, fucking primo. For like $200, you can get yourself a really good fucking just mini PC. Highly recommend. But
Yep.
hell yeah. But no, truly, like I'm so fucking disgusted with Microsoft and all their bullshit. And it's only gonna get worse. And it's like, if you are the average Joe, just fucking going to Walmart or going to Target or whatever the average person is realistically doing and buying a fucking computer, this is the shit you're stuck with. You have no defense against this bullshit. Because even then, like what's your alternative for the average consumer? Your average consumer, if they're not going to go to Walmart or to Target or Best Buy and buy a fucking Windows computer, because fucking Geek Squad knows what they're doing. They fucking do this shit all day. They're gonna go to the fucking Genius Bar and buy themselves a fucking Macintosh. And yeah, Apple's a little bit better about customer privacy because they at least make the government get a court order before giving in information. But again, still not that much better. And then what? Grandma's gonna go spend fucking $3,000 on a goddamn Mac laptop versus the fucking $200 she could spend on what she needs for a goddamn fucking Windows machine. It's bullshit. Fucking hate it. We need more out of the box Linux systems. I love what fucking System 76 is doing for bringing Pop! OS to the pre-made laptop market. I love that when you go with, oh fuck, the company name is escaping me right now. Actually, crap. I hate that I can't remember the name of the company.
Activision.
Yes, Activision laptops. No, the hard N-word Linus. No, the hard N-word Linus. He went ahead and invested in this company. Now the name is escaping me.
Hmm.
But they're a company that does laptops that you can completely customize that are also buildable. So that way, if you decide to go ahead and outgrow that laptop, you can completely take it out of its shell and re-customize it basically into a desktop, and you're good to go. They're really fucking good. Framework, there we go. Framework laptops. That also have the option of coming with. I think they come with Ubuntu out of the box, which gross. I mean, fine, it's baby's first Linux, but I fucking hate what Canonical has done with Ubuntu. If you're gonna go ahead and still call yourself fucking Linux, stop putting snap. When I fucking use sudo apt get, I fucking expect to call in the apt repository. I don't fucking expect to call in the goddamn snap repository. And I know that there's zero people that give a fuck about what I just said. I fully understand that no one listening, neither you two nor any of the listeners, even if they were all here right now, they give a fuck about the statement that just escaped my mouth. But truly, when I fucking use sudo apt-get, I expect to call in the app repository and not get fucking snap packages. It's bullshit. I hate Ubuntu. I wish that other Linux distros at least gave you the option of having ADMX profiles for fucking group policy instead of just Ubuntu. But alas, it's the world we live in, and I fucking hate it. I know I should just learn Ansible or Puppet, but I'm fucking lazy, and my company only pays me so much to go ahead and build out shit. So, but anyways, Linux is the way. Fuck Windows. Also, fuck Macintosh while I'm at it. Learn how to use Linux. It's not fucking hard. Pop, Ubuntu, fucking Mint, MX Linux, all Debian-based distros. Because anyone that uses Arch has a small dick. I'm just saying. People love Arch. I've tried many years to get into Arch. I get why people like it. Having a rolling release distro that is always on the bleeding edge can be nice. But I like stability in my operating system. I like shit working in my operating system. So I'll always use something Debian based. Fuck, even Alpine. I'll fucking take Alpine any goddamn day over a goddamn fucking Arch. But anyways, go use those distros. They're phenomenal. They work out of the box. They're great. It's easy to, if I can teach my 73-year-old fucking meme to teach to how to use fucking Pop! OS, anyone can learn how to goddamn use Linux. It's not the fucking terminal behemoth it used to be. It's not like back in the day with Slackware where you had to build everything from scratch. Or like nowadays with Arch, where if you're using vanilla Arch, you're building it from scratch. Just fucking use Linux. Stop letting Microsoft have a monopoly. Stop letting them treat you like a fucking product. Fucking learn the basics. Like, I know dick all about vehicles. I still know enough about my electric car that it doesn't need an oil change because it doesn't use oil. I read my user manual. I know that it doesn't take oil. Like that's the bare minimum. Just fucking read the manual. Just read manuals. Why is this so hard for people? I don't understand. Do more to be better. Just fucking be better. Anyways, that's my pro Linux propaganda for the night. Don't mind me.
Nice. Oh, I'm really mad at that.
Oh shit! I went through more of these than I thought. I have 2 left of this 12 pack.
It's a great way to follow up
So-
your ramble. Oh, by the way, I'm drunk right now.
Well, because they're not much. Like technically, legally speaking, in Germany, this would be considered a soft drink because it's only 4% by volume.
Got it. Anything else we got?
I think there was like one other thing, but it's escaping right now. I am just very distracted on my Linux tangent. One of these days, I'll get you. I'll get my boys. I'll get you
we'll see.
to jump down the rabbit hole.
We'll see.
I will. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna entice you. I'm gonna get you down the home lab rabbit hole. I'm gonna teach you all about building your own home servers. You're gonna be like, it's fine. I just spin it up. I'm gonna learn Docker enough to get these things working, and then as soon as I have you trapped into learning Docker and Linux just enough to get a server working, I'm gonna be like, yeah, but now imagine just Linux working beautifully on everything.
I don't spend enough time for my computer to care.
Stop being a product, Adrian.
You
teach your students to critically think. I'm teaching you to stop being a product.
I sit in front of the computer to record this podcast, and that's the only time I sit in front of this computer.
Free yourself. I have no, like I have legitimately.
I understand.
No, hold on. I'm trying to math real quick. Give me a second.
All right.
I legitimately have 14 working computers in this house. All but 3 of them are running Linux. One is technically has a dual boot, which is this computer here. No, I lied. All but 4 are running Linux.
I'm already running Linux, David. I got a Steam Deck.
Technically, that runs Manjaro, which is Arch based. Which kudos to Valve for making Arch fucking work. But anyways, my computer dual boots, and then other than that, I have 3 computers that run Mac OS. My partner's work computer. I have a Mac Mini, and I have one of the last good fucking iMac that has the really high fidelity screen to it, and the DVD drive built into it. I have the last model that was really good for those. But even then, the Mac Mini has updated so much that macOS is crippling that. The second I put Alpine on that, it'll fucking be blazing fast. Likewise, that beautiful, gorgeous iMac that I have over there will run fucking pristine once I put some kind of Debian distro on it. Moral of the story, everything just runs better in Linux. There's only been, again, like 10% of the time I need something explicitly in Windows, but there's never been anything I explicitly need in Mac. So the moral of the story is just use Linux.
I understand, but like, I don't use my computer enough to go through all that.
Just use Linux then.
Anyway.
You don't use it enough to care, then fuck it. Just install Linux and then you're done. Then the only thing you'll ever need to know in life is sudo apt update and
no, well,
sudo...
work is always gonna have Windows anyway. It's literally
or not.
No, like it's not. Yeah, no, they're gonna always run Windows at work.
Or just use an Ubuntu and everything runs in parallel.
They can't on the work laptops. Work laptops
Tell IT
are
that
only.
they're wrong and just use an Ubuntu.
They're not going to.
Well, then your IT team, there's a bunch of cuts.
It's literally it's like arguing with like the state. You know, well, if I can't get education anywhere, then obviously like working anywhere else in that.
Telling you right now, if your IT team in the school building is not going to allow you to use Linux,
they don't even allow like Mac because of because our whole thing.
Well, that makes sense because those are expensive.
But no, it's because we had a cyber attack that opened everything up, and Mac was one thing that left open or something like that, and so they don't allow new Macs on our network.
How did they fuck up Mac security? It's literally Unix
I
under the
I don't
hood.
know what the thing is. You're talking to someone that's like trying to speak different language on it. They don't allow any new. I don't think it was through that, but I think it's because of Apple's firewall not working or something like that. That they just don't. So like, I wanted to for my editing class get 4 iMacs for editing, but they don't allow Apple products like that straight on the network anymore. Just because I think their network doesn't jive with the firewalls that they have set up on
Your IT team's fucking dumb.
I can't tell you
You can send them this clip and tell them I said they're fucking dumb.
Here, hold on. Let me see. No, hold on.
Fucking hell. How do you again, it's Unix under the hood. How do you fuck up network security for fucking Unix? Windows, sure. Windows gets backdoored every goddamn day.
No, well, I mean, here's this. Obviously, don't read all this out loud just because it's just news articles.
Yeah, no.
If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole yourself and see if there was any more information on this, probably not, I imagine, but there might be something. You're welcome to look at that. But yeah, due to all this situation, so for example, due to this whole situation, esports has been a fucking clusterfuck because they have to have a district-wide separate network, just Wi-Fi just for esports, to have a different NAT open to allow for us to play games, because after this happened, it was closed up to a point where like we couldn't connect to anyone else. So
really, this is what Pony got. Oh my god,
like
this is the most. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. So you're like you could tell me all
this
day.
This is it. This is all it took. Your
t-
fucking IT team is shit, and they should feel bad for it.
No, I mean you say that for all that. It's like it was like, there was this whole thing, and we had like
fucking Christ.
That's
all it took.
We had multiple days off of work because they had to figure all this out.
I mean, granted, you've only been you were down for multiple days. My aunt, the company she works for, I won't mention the name, but they've legitimately been down for like 3 months because of a similar situation. But again, how was that? Okay, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this very plainly, because 99% of the time, the way that all of those things work is because some IT staff member was fucking lazy and allowed people to run things with admin credentials. That is the only way that properly was allowed to go through. Even if that exploit was allowed to go ahead and run without admin credentials, maybe it was some weird variant that didn't necessarily need an admin credential to kick off, which, sure, should have been still something that was immediately detected, or either by some proactive remediation software, or at the very least was something that should have been ineffective because of already existing encryption tools. I find it fucking wild every time a company gets fucking hit by shit like this.
Yeah. Well,
because it's the dumbest, most laziest shit to get hit by at this point in time.
Sure. Then there's a lot of weirdness around it, but yeah. So like, you're not gonna get anything moving on that end.
Also, like, statistically, those are gonna impact fucking Mac again. Unix
it's because
most of those impact Windows.
It's because whatever firewall that was installed to remedy this does not jive with a lot of things. So like, we even had like a brand new thing where we used GoGuardian, then we swapped to something else for a little while, and then we had to swap back to GoGuardian because the thing that we were going to use just didn't work with firewall on ours. Like I said, the connections for various games on esports, we got shut down for like 4 weeks until IT had to figure out a workaround, which was giving everyone or making a whole separate Wi-Fi network district wide for just that. Meaning that when we play other teams in our own district, we have to play via not. And I'm of the mind that I don't think Wi-Fi connections are as bad as people say they are. They're not compared to wired yet, but like, we're not far off. So like, we're a wired or a wireless connection. It's not.
If you're on Wi-Fi 6E, it's basically indistinguishable.
Yeah, but even then, like, there's but it's versus everything else. But we do have to use Wi-Fi for against our own opponents in our own district because we have to be on that specific esports network. It was a clusterfuck a few years ago, but I digress. Yeah. So long story short, we're using Windows.
Gricey Tebin's dumb, and I hope they feel bad.
Well, you're welcome to move over here, become a taxpayer, and vocalize that very loudly over here, and see how that goes.
They can't afford me. It's
uh,
a school district. They can't afford me.
yeah, I'm well aware. I also work in a school district that shouldn't be able to afford me, but they,
Exactly. You understand.
yeah.
You can't. I am throwing a fit with it being 70 degrees outside right now. I'm not gonna fucking go live where you live. Fuck
I
that.
mean, hold on. It's 72 degrees here right now.
Yeah. Fuck off. Anytime it's above 60 degrees, I get mad. It's disgusting.
Sure. I think yes, it's hot, and there are days you're gonna fucking hate, of course. But you keep thinking that we're like Phoenix. We definitely have our cold times. In fact, there are times I vividly remember of us comparing temperatures, and it was colder here than it was there.
Yes, I know. Especially in the desert at night, it can get very
But like
fucking
specifically here has it been time that it's been colder than you think. It's desert, but whenever you think you keep defaulting to Arizona temperatures, which are obscene. Those are the ones that you hate. That's the remember we were driving through and it was 114 outside.
Yes,
That is Arizona.
That's terrible.
Yes, that is Arizona. Here, that's like Arizona. That's like a summer day. Here that'd be like breaking a record for pretty shit weather. Not that you'd be able to handle it. I'm just trying to say we're not as egregious as you think it is. It's just it's still not your it's not your temperature, but
In my ideal world, the hottest it ever gets is 60 degrees.
nah, I'm a desert rat, dude. Fuck that. Anyway,
No, fuck that. I ideally want everything between 30 and 40 degrees. Just good old, just light hoodie weather.
I'm good. All right. I think
Kells, what about you?
No, I'm a big boy, so I like the cold.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But are you in the camp of 30 to 40 degrees is like a light hoodie weather, or are you like, no, that's actually cold?
No, I'm the dude that wears as long as I have a hoodie on, I'll wear shorts.
Oh,
Throw me a hoodie and I'll give me a hoodie, I'll survive the winter.
Yup.
Yeah.
Shorts and granted, I'm not as bad as one of my buddies. One of my buddies will wear flip flops in the winter, and I just
Oh,
think
yeah.
flip flops are disgusting, so I don't go
Yeah.
to that extreme. But
I
no,
need
I'll
to
gladly
like
wear shorts in the
I need
winter.
14 layers in the winter. I can't fuck with that. I'm good.
Nah, fuck that. As long as I got even just the flimsiest of hoodies on, nah, it's fine. I'll wear fucking shorts in negative temperatures.
No, we had to bargain. The girlfriend needs it to be like ice cold at night, so she got me like one of those Oodies. Do you know what those are?
No.
They're the big, massive, like oversized hoodies that like are built for you. Like it's like the Snuggies of the hoodies, right? The big
Mhm.
comfortable ones. It's got like the big pocket. It's got a hood that has like actually like built-in eye cover. But she had to give me one of those, and I'll wear that every night along with using our 10-foot by 10-foot blanket. That's also layered on top of it. I can't deal with the cold. I don't know what it
Oh,
was.
they make fucking nerd ones with Pokemon and
Mhm.
Snoopy and.
But you see how my favorite
Fortnite.
thing is the fucking hoods. The hoods with the eye, they have like the eye flap on it. It's fucking incredible. Yeah, you seeing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I love those.
I'm sending this to my partner because she's always fucking cold. So.
Dude, I don't know what it was. I used to be able to handle the cold a lot better. The first time I ever lost weight, that winter was the worst, and I was getting jitters. And literally, even as I've gained the weight back, I've not been able to get past that. So no, I need multiple layers, and like you're gonna hate this, dude. Straight up, like there were times, not this year, but I think last year, the year prior, where I would have the heater on in May, dude.
Ugh.
Like I need toasty. Make it like a
Ugh.
sauna. Oh, dude. She took me to the hot springs for my birthday, and there was a sauna room. It was a steam room where it felt
Mhm.
fucking hot. Like you would touch, and I'm not the person that fucks with like the hot water. I'm good on just warm water's fine. but like that was like when you touch it, like you could feel like a little sizzle there. You could feel like I guess like your bare back and stuff. And it was a steam room, so it was hot, right? Like you're sweating in there. It is like harder to breathe, but whatever. And she was like in there for a few minutes, she's like, all right, I got my fill. I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit here. She's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go because there were like two versions of it. There was like a lighter steam that came out every now and then. This one was like constant, just steam. And I was like, I'll join you in a little bit. And I've never felt more dangerously close to like the precipice of when I was like, all right, this is overdoing it. I'm gonna have a heat stroke. I have to stop for like my own, like brain is saying, keep going. Body is like, do. No, you got to stop. You have to stop. Tap, tap, tap. Because I was in there for a long time and I had like, it got a little hazy and my brain was starting to fog out a little bit in a bad way. And I was like, all right, I think I've hit the animalistic instincts of I must walk out now. And I go to the other room. She's like, how was it? I was like, I loved it. I didn't want to leave. I swear I might have died if I stayed there like 10 more minutes. She was like, well, thank you for knowing your own limit. I'm like, thank you for recognizing that. I love anywhere I can just stay toasty in a good way. I'm in. That's mine.
No, the shower is the only place where I need things molten. I love a good molten shower. Otherwise than that, I need to be cold. My life philosophy, you can always add layers. You can only take off so many layers.
I agree
before
with
the police
that.
get called.
I understand that. However, when I'm in the comfort of my own house and I could fuck with that, I will.
The comfort of my own house involves me not wearing pants. Basically, Winnie the Pooh. The comfort of my own house is Winnie the Poohing it, where I am not wearing pants, but I am wearing a shirt, and just that is life at home.
I'm layered the fuck up if it's cold, dude.
No, I want it to be fucking 30 to 40 degrees, no pants, just wearing a t-shirt, and just happy days.
Speaking of happy days, we're almost at 4 hours, so that's gonna be it.
Hell yeah.
Anyone who's still listening, thanks.
Y'all fucking wild. Also, if you're still listening, what's your favorite Linux distro? Hit me up.
Literally, your crusade, and we're not recording anymore. We're almost done with the stream. Your crusade against people like doing this, like I have to let you understand that like you are so far removed from the normies.
Oh, I know.
Like
again, Linux finally got up to 4.2% of the distro market.
If you're not reaching me, God help you thinking you're reaching anyone else. I am your gatekeeper to like accessibility. Like if I don't give a shit, then no one else is gonna give a shit. If you ever get me to like budge my foot to give a shit on that, then you were following a right path on that. But like, it's not happening.
Well, that's the key difference. Is the reasons I prefer Linux are definitely reasons that the average person doesn't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. All right.
That's because the average person is perfectly content being a fucking product. They're also content with just Microsoft fucking them square in the ass and just going ahead and leaving optimization on the table, or if they're not content with that, then they're content with getting raked over the coals with the absurd fucking prices of a goddamn Mac hardware, even though Hackintoshes have existed on a quarter of the fucking price hardware. Which, granted, this is basically the last year Hackintoshes are going to be viable, at least until a good ARM architecture is able to replicate what the M series is doing. But
I don't understand what you said, but I agree. Sure.
moral of the story: don't be a cuck. Use Linux.
What if they're into that?
Have some self-respect. Use Linux.
All right. Stream, we're out.